Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. I didn't even hear you that time. Discord picked it up, but I didn't hear anything.
You.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
I
exist.
just realized people can't actually see the thumbnail of the video we're covering, so ours probably makes no sense.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense at all to them. I mean, still.
Hold on. I'll
Oh
just grab
no.
a screen capture of it, and then you can put it on screen until we are ready to cover it.
Just a quick warning, everyone. Today is going to be a quick one. We've got a short video to cover, and I just don't feel like streaming for too long today, so, you know.
Yeah.
Good afternoon, my good sir. How are you on this fine day? I exist. I look towards my webcam, but I don't have the model up, because this isn't a VTuber stream. I just instinctively looked in that direction.
Nice.
Why are you guys
You gotta
talking
use
about
the-
Konosuba? We're not. We did it as a reference to the video we're covering, which has a random anime character in the fucking thumbnail. And then I forgot that you can't even see that.
There, you could throw that up on screen until we're ready.
I suppose we should just get started with the usual rigmarole then. So, Cree, what did you do for the last 2 weeks?
Eh. Nothing.
No streams, no nothing?
Well, I mean, I streamed, but, like, it does... I'd prefer just to get into it, to be honest. This is the thumbnail for the video we're covering. It's just random anime character, and that's just your opinion. It's like, oh, okay.
Okay, I guess, Pagan, what'd you do?
Played Stalker and watched anime.
Kind of the same. I did the live action One Piece made me want to watch One Piece, so I started that quite a while ago now. I'm up to episode, was it 919 or something of 1087 or whatever they're up to now.
Jesus fucking Christ, you've been binging that show.
It's been the thing that's been dedicated on the side monitor for a while. But to be fair, I've also been using One Piece to basically cut out all the filler and stuff. So like each episode of One Piece might be 2, 3, or 4 episodes of the anime with all the stuff cut out. But yeah, I got some thoughts on that. We watched the movies Zathura as well, which is it's not great, but it's pretty good. It's a pretty good spiritual successor to Jumanji, but it's a lot less magical, I'd say, than Jumanji is, honestly. And I'm magical, I mean in that like good special way where everything kind of like works together and it just Jumanji holds up to this day very well. Zathura, not as much. And yeah, I played 2 new games. One of them's Grounded, so Obsidian's survival RPG. Survival RPG. I forgot they did make an RPG. And it's pretty good, but turns me into a scared little baby because spiders. I hate spiders. Fucking spiders everywhere. And then RoboQuest, which is a first-person shooter that's a roguelite. And you just basically have a dungeon adventure you go through, unlock classes, characters, that sort of thing. Actually, really, really fun. Surprisingly so. The chat was enjoying itself very much so. But yeah, I guess that'd be it for my 2 weeks. I guess, like I said, I do want to say one thing to One Piece, and then we can get into the video itself. This will be a pretty quick day today. One Piece's big problem is that the world isn't as well thought out as you initially think it is. I think that's the biggest issue I have with the anime, and likely the manga, because I can't see them diverging that much from the manga. But a lot of it is like people just have things when they need things, so they'll like throw people feasts and stuff like that on an island. That's like, oh, we get everything from the jungle and stuff like that. It's just kind of like, okay, that doesn't make any sense. Or like the way islands are shaped and everything like that. It's very much it's just a pure fantasy world, right? But people obviously counter. There's entire islands made out of candy. It's like, okay, fine, but still, when you don't have the basic logistics down, it makes a lot of the preachiness against the authoritarian regime of the world government not land as well as it should, because everything kind of just magically works for their economy and everything. It's just weird. It's just really, really weird. Yeah, we'll have to see what happens in the Wano arc. Apparently the Wano arc is really, really good. Also really, really fucking long. It's over. It's like almost 200 episodes by itself. Just this one single arc. Yeah. So that's that.
When is Bethesda going to remake Fallouts 1 and 2? Why would you even ask that? Why would you want that?
Yeah, I hope never. They would fuck it up.
Yeah. I will say playing Oblivion recently is kind of really making me want to do an Oblivion video. And before people on chat start freaking out that I have unfinished projects, I'm not going to start an Oblivion analysis anytime soon. It's just playing the game again makes me want to. Because, like, it's just pretty much ML's entire career of, oh my god, something shocking. Because the Dark Brotherhood does that twice, and it's really bad both times.
Yeah. ML is the kind of writer who he'll watch something and then immediately work what he watched into his script.
Kind of.
He doesn't really have talent or anything like that.
Yeah, he definitely
just copies.
He definitely doesn't have talent. I think his main problem is that he thinks that things that are shocking or things that are a twist are inherently good. And he works them into pretty much every story he does, as far as I know.
He is basically the actual real-life embodiment of South Park's M. Night Shyamalan Ding Dong. You know, where he'll pop out and be like, what a twist! Everywhere.
Yeah, because just quickly with the Dark Brotherhood, there's a couple moments that are meant to be shocking, and when you think about them a little more than not at all, they're just really dumb. First of all is the cleansing of the Shaden Hall Sanctuary, where it's like, yeah, the traitor who joined before you did, so you're safe, came from this sanctuary. They were placed in the sanctuary. Of course, no one you kill in the sanctuary is the traitor, because they've already moved on from there. Yet he never considers this. It's like, isn't that a major weak link in your fucking plot here?
Yes.
There's obviously the whole dead drops being swapped thing, where, like, you can't call it out, which is really dumb. If you go to Lucien Lachance's hideout, like, he's not there anymore, so you can't talk to him. And then there's the, oh no, you've been killing Dark Brotherhood members this entire time. It's like, I don't know. It just comes across as really lame. Before we get into the video, I'm going to take care of these super chats and memberships quickly. Kelbeck, welcome to L membership. Gonna have to change that. Thank you. $5 from Mystic Space. Thank you. Got a new job. Glad to see one live. Have some cookies on me, Cree. Oh, well, thank you. So are we expected to witness weeb trash that hates criticism? Also, more MC soon. I don't know... Like, this video, for what I previewed of it, had video game gameplay in the background. It's just, for some reason, the thumbnail has an anime character in it. And I don't know why. It just seems like really random.
It is, from what I could tell watching the video, it is just random.
10 pounds from Threadnought. Oh, also more Minecraft soon. Maybe. I'm not sure when, but maybe. 10 pounds from Threadnought, thank you. There are no 100% objective reviews, however, reviews are meant to inform other people who are likely not to share the reviewer's opinion. If you don't at least try to be objective, you're just a piece of shit. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because, opinion isn't always worth a lot. Like, oh yeah, I like this thing, I like that thing, I like these things, I like those things. It doesn't tell me anything except that you enjoyed it. When I did the House of Usher review, I tried to explain why without spoiling that the story didn't work for me. I don't even think House of Usher is, like, badly written. I just think that, with the way everything plays out and pays off, it's just unsatisfying. You know?
I feel more towards it's more badly written because of the payoff being what it was and how it kind of destroys the rest of the thing. The rest of the stuff was fantastic writing though, but that payoff was pretty rough.
Yeah.
I mean, it was, but I can't call it bad writing because of that.
It's one of those things where it's hard to write off everything in the show, where it's like, that writing was good, it's just the writing at the end was not.
My main thing is I don't want to call the writing bad at the end just because I found the ending unsatisfying, because, like, logically, according to the rules of the show, as best as I can tell, everything does make sense. You know?
True.
Fair.
It is, yeah, I guess it is one of those things where it's like, for some people, they might get a satisfying conclusion to it, but for us, we just didn't, because
yeah,
it just didn't feel like it ended the way that it should have.
Yeah. Speaking of hella biased reviews, any chance STAG might cover something like the shill video Gman Lives did for Starfield? First of all, how long is it? Second of all, possibly, maybe? To be honest, I'm already kind of sick of talking about Starfield.
Same. I am so sick of fucking Starfield at this point. I don't want to cover it anymore.
It's one of those things where it's hilarious how much the cope is that, you know, it's been dominating the gaming industry discourse ever since it released. Like, no, it hasn't. It hasn't been dominating anything. It came out, was a wet fart, and then nobody paid attention to it after a week and a half.
Yeah, pretty much.
Viewership numbers on it fell off a cliff. Discourse about it fell off a cliff. There's just nothing. There's nothing there. It's like the embodiment of... What's a good way to put it? It's like the embodiment of the saying a flash in the pan. That's all Starfield was. And it wasn't even that bright or brilliant of a flash. It just was like you threw some pop rocks in a pan, put some cola on it, and it crackled a little bit, and then it was done.
Starfield is just a mid-game, honestly. That's giving it too much credit.
Yeah. I wouldn't even call it mid.
Is way overdoing.
Speaking of G-Man Lives, though, I can't remember if this happened before the last STAG or not, but I'm pretty sure I talked about it on one of my gaming streams. He had a fucking boomer moment on Twitter that is hilarious and pathetic. He was fucking pearl clutching over someone playing Grand Theft Auto and killing civilian NPCs. Mm-hmm. And, like, saying people like that should be on a watch list. It's like, motherfucker, your favorite game is Postal 2. There's a clip of him playing Postal 2 for his review, putting gas on the ground and lighting it on fire when the marching band is walking by. It's like, this is the person who's moralizing about killing NPCs. Yeah, okay. Sure. Fucking idiot.
Yeah, it's so weird, too, to see... Not just him, but a bunch of other people also just being like, oh yeah, this is awful, this is so bad. And now people are making that meme of the guy who constantly like railed against the GTA games back in the day as
Jack Thompson.
Yep.
Yeah, Jack Thompson. And the people are like memeing, it's like, he won, guys, he finally won.
Yeah, It's just crazy to me that people who grew up through that era are fucking making the same arguments now. It's insanity.
It
That's
is.
because G-Man Lives is an idiot. He's an idiot and a shill. So it's not surprising that people like him would pearl clutch like that because they think that's the end thing, even though by all measurable logic it's not.
But it's worse than that because he does the same thing in games.
Yeah.
Because you can at least excuse boomers like Jack Thompson where, like, they see something out of context, they don't understand what video games are, so they make these dumb fucking assumptions that, oh yeah, it's a murder simulator, it's training people to be killers. It's a stupid conclusion to come to. But it at least makes more sense for a boomer to come to that conclusion than someone who grew up playing these games, doing those things, to then go, oh my god, people like this should be on a watch list.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Because
I
it's like,
agree.
okay, so you're saying you should be on a watch list, you fucking idiot? It's
Pretty much, yeah.
like, God, you're dumb.
But what I'm saying is that G-Man Lives is the kind of idiot who, if you give him $10, he'll say whatever and totally believe it because he's that much of a fucking sellout piece of shit. Like, he's somebody that he doesn't think. Like, if you measured his level of intelligence, your scanner would come back of no life detected.
Anyways, are we ready to start this video? Because I
Yes.
previewed a minute or two of it, and it actually doesn't start off too bad.
Yeah, I actually agreed with most of what he says at the beginning, and I didn't go further than that, though, so...
Yeah.
I have heard it falls off a cliff, though, and goes into fucking crazy land.
I think
Like,
that's
pretty hard.
what the description came with when it was posted to the server.
Yeah.
So you ready?
Yep.
Yep.
I've been meaning to make this video for time as any. I gave a negative review to Lords of the video, and the fans of that game had some criticism.
This isn't even a problem with the video, it's a problem with, I guess, Watch Together. It keeps stuttering, like, every couple seconds it'll just stop, and it'll catch up with what he was saying, and it's really annoying me already.
Yeah.
Because when it's playing like that, I'm gonna miss, like, key information, and so are the viewers. And that's already bugging the fuck out of me.
For whatever reason, we've been having, like, really bad connections on Discord for some reason, because me and Cree have been trying to watch something for a while, and if we try to do screen share, it completely breaks because the connection between us just doesn't work. But only on Discord. It's only on Discord. Everything else is fine. And I don't know why.
Yeah. So, try refreshing. I'll try refreshing, hold on.
I've been meaning
Alright, let's try now.
had some criticisms which I will address in this one. But this video isn't exactly about
That's
Lords
better.
of the video isn't exactly this video is more
Literally after I say it's better, it skips back then skips forward.
Nice. Mine is doing a lot of the processing thing, for sure.
Weird, because it's buttery smooth for me.
Like, mine only does the processing thing whenever we pause it. It suddenly starts doing the load, like, circle of doom.
Yeah, there's often issues, like, after unpausing, but the fact that it's happening during regular play is annoying me.
video isn't exactly about Lords of the Fallen. I've already talked about what I think about that game. The point of this video is more general, and what I say here will apply to any review or video that I make in the future. First of all, one of the criticisms I received is that I can't have a review if I haven't completed the game. And I'm just going to nip that in the bud before I move forward. I don't have to finish a game to develop a negative impression on it and make a video. I don't subscribe to...
So, it skipped a bit there, but I'm just going to go ahead and say, like, yeah, you're correct.
Yeah, he is.
If you're doing an in-depth analysis or a retrospective, then yeah, you do have to play the full thing. because that's kind of the point of like doing an in-depth video or a retrospective on a game, is to like get as much information as you can, make it accurate, talk about the like finer points. It's not a quick and done review. If you're playing a game for review, and it's like, yeah, you play it for 5, 10, 20, 30 hours, and you're not enjoying it, it's a piece of garbage. It's like, yeah, why should you have to finish? You shouldn't need to play every single game on, what is it, Action 52 to say Action 52 is bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, as long as you can point out, like, yeah, here's the problems and here's why I don't want to, finish the whole game, that should be more than enough for people to understand that, yeah, this game is probably shit.
Exactly. Like you said, if it's not a critique or not an analysis, and I mean an actual like in-depth critique, then yeah, who cares? If you're like, I'm sorry, I could not get through this game. Here are my reasons why, and why I do not want to continue. Fine, that's fair. It's fair enough. That should work.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's like when we did Starfield. I played the main storyline, and then I said, "That's it. I'm done." I didn't want to play any of the faction stuff. Starfield sucks.
I've
I don't want to go play
unfortunately
the rest of it.
locked myself into playing the entire rest of the game, and I'm not looking forward to it.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
But hey, I'm probably going to be one of the few people to have, like, a full analysis of the game. Because who the fuck else is going to play it that much and be honest about it? Patrician, okay, yeah. If he even does that, I don't know how far he's intending to go with it. You can't imagine anyone else going that deep on it. Just why the fuck would you? It's Starfield.
Mm-hmm. I could definitely see Patrician doing it. The fact he did it with Fallout 76, it's like... yeah, I could definitely see him doing it.
That a review needs to have you beat the game. A game for 15 hours, and what I find there convinces me to stop. Then that too is valuable information for a review.
Yeah.
And if anything, that's an opinion you can trust more, because it means this game was so bad that I willingly gave up the revenue that I might have made by having this video be longer and explaining all the things I didn't like all the way up to the end game. And
That, I'm not entirely sure about that part. You can trust that review more because I gave up potential revenue. It's like,
No, that's
I'm not sure it works that way.
Yeah, I wouldn't consider that a factor for, like, being more trustworthy.
The way you would build up trust is to be accurate in your criticism and when you review something.
Yeah.
Like, the thing that he specifically is going to rail against here, that no objective things, like, no, you need objectivity in your reviews. That's how you build up trust, that people can actually trust your reviews.
Yeah. Because it's one thing to say that a game is bad, and then it's like, well, if you say everything correctly, you actually give the facts about the game and you actually explain why, then people will trust you. If you say, well, it's bad, and then don't explain why, or you mislead and you make shit up, like we've often seen with the people we've covered, you lose trust. We don't trust you. We can't trust anything you fucking say, because you're just going to be basically going, well, I don't like this thing because of this. And it's like, well, that's not a thing. You made that up.
Yeah. Because anyone could do a review of any game or movie or whatever and just literally make shit up and just say it's good or bad for these reasons.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean it's a good review.
Yeah. Or just have like a complete, like, just no understanding of the content or how to engage with it. Like a certain somebody we've covered where their in-depth analysis of Fallout New Vegas and all the criticisms they had with that game, and we were just constantly like, no, you could do this. No, that's not true. You could do this. No, you're making that up. No, that's not even a thing in the game. I don't know where you got that from. You're literally just assuming at this point. You don't even know.
Yeah, and that was the thing. Said person who also may have tried to get in a debate with us on another server and then got BTFO'd by every single person on that server as well. Which is funny as hell.
£5 from Threadnought, thank you. And here we see Creed lamenting his decision to do a deep dive on Starfield. Poor turkey femboy goat furry. Okay, please don't call me a turkey. That's too much associated with the fat blue fuck. Don't call me a femboy. I'm not a femboy. And I'm also not a furry.
He's right about two of those things.
Poor? I mean, the model's a goat, so that makes sense. But poor? I mean, I could have more money. It'd be nice.
No. Wasn't referring to the poor.
What the fuck were you referring to?
A certain other part.
Well, none of the other parts are correct, so no.
I don't know about that. Are you sure about that?
Yeah, exactly.
I am 1000% sure. 8-month membership from Just a Guy from Alabama. Thank you. Good for you that you found which tab your backlogs are in. The hillbilly hackers will stand down for now. The backlogs weren't in tabs though. They were in a folder. Which, by the way, the Streamlabs OBS recordings of streams are getting kind of bloated. Gonna have to do something about that.
Yep.
After I re-render the 4 parts of the Fallout 4 analysis for upload on Rumble and Odyssey, which I still haven't fucking done, because I have to uncensor them now. Once those are re-rendered for those platforms, I'm going to delete all the footage I used to make those videos since I won't need it anymore.
Yeah, and then if you ever do need it, you can just download it from one of those platforms.
Well, I mean, I'm going to keep copies of the videos as backup. But yeah. $2 from Dark World XL. Thank you. How about a feathery? Enjoy your content, Cree. Thank you, but I'm not a feathery either.
Yeah.
Especially now. That doesn't apply to anything in here anymore.
I'm leaving the owl picture on the backup channel.
Okay, then fair.
Understand the surprise because all the reviews I've done up to this point have been reviews where I completed the whole game. But that's been a coincidence. I've never seen it as a necessity. And often, beating the game isn't enough for people, really. Like for Starfield, did you beat all of the main campaigns? Did you see the New Game Plus content? The game's so big you can't have an appropriate review without 100 hours of playtime on it. Okay, so I did put 100 hours of playtime into Starfield.
I will say quickly, too, since he's bringing up Starfield, it does almost kind of feel like the game was built to be criticism-proof, because, like, it's so big, and there's apparently New Game Plus alternatives for all the side factions, too. At least from what I've heard.
Maybe.
It's like, Jesus Christ. For anyone to go in-depth on all this would take a monumental amount of time. Even for my analysis, I'm not seeing the 10 variants for every single faction. Because, like, first of all, it's random, whether you're going to get them or not. And that is an absurd and insane amount of playtime you're going to need to invest in it to get all that.
Yeah, plus I would just say, it's like, I don't want to have to gamble to get a good role for, like, the possibility that there might be one good storyline in this game, where it's like, I haven't experienced them yet, and I shouldn't have to gamble for the one good one, so...
Not just that, it being Bethesda, I don't expect, like, the alternatives or the variants to be any good. Like, look at what the main story gets. Half of them are jokes, like the kids or Sarah Morgan being a plant, and the other is shocking for the sake of shocking. They don't do anything interesting with any of them. It's just, you meet the new version of Constellation and it's over and done with.
Mm-hmm.
And the fact you run into a world that has nothing but you populated in it is a big fucking problem and completely destroys the entire rest of the point and narrative of the game.
Yeah, it's also another one of the joke options, or possibilities. And, It would also suck to try and get every single, like, version of each faction, and then, like, you have 9 out of 10. Okay, so go to New Game Plus 12 or whatever. Oh, it's one I've seen already. Try it again. Oh, it's one I've seen already. And you just keep rolling and rolling and never get the fucking 10th one. Or the variation is so small you fucking miss it. You know?
Yep.
We're talking about something that's going to take hundreds upon hundreds of hours of gameplay to do everything. Yeah, I am not seeing every alternative. I'll try for some of them to like get a feel for it, but I'm not doing all of them. That's insanity. $5 from just a guy from Alabama. Thank you. And here we see Creed willing to purge his stream and gameplay footage, but not his tabs. Can kick well, Scotsman. Hey. I did purge some of the tabs, okay? I did.
Only some, though. He's currently working through the first few steps of therapy, alright, guys?
I'm not getting rid of all of them. There's a lot of stuff in there program. I fucking need, okay? 10 pounds from Gorbs. Thank you. I disagree with this fellow's opinion of having to complete a game in order to have an authoritative review. It is a super rare game that will have new mechanics or story beats appearing at the end. Well, yeah, he's saying you don't have to complete a game to do a review.
He's specifically calling out the people that say you must do literally 100% to have a review.
Yeah.
And be accurate and be allowed and acceptable sort of thing. It's like, no.
Yeah. Apparently he was getting criticism on one of his reviews where people were like, oh, but you didn't play the entire game, so your review doesn't matter. And he's like arguing against that. That's bullshit.
Bookmarks, Creetosis, bookmarks. No!
Yeah, we try to tell him the power of the bookmarks. That's step 9 on the 10-step program.
There is no program. There is no program. There is only tab.
I see. He's in the early stages, still out denied.
What if you make it a joint project with a bunch of other people? No. When doing my analysis videos, I like working at my own pace, which is going to vary a lot. Like, there's times where I'm in a complete slump and I'm not doing anything, and I don't like the idea of people having to wait on me. And in reverse, if I'm, like, really, like, I want to get this done, I'm working as hard as possible on this to get this done, I don't want to have to be waiting on other people who, you know, maybe they're busy with lives, maybe they have a job, maybe they have a medical incident or whatever, you know? I like working at my own pace, whatever that pace may be at the moment.
Yeah.
Tree, you need professional help. No.
Hated it. The last 85-15. I'm not going to play 50.
Mine completely crapped out
yeah,
there.
It keeps skipping for me too. It's really fucking annoying.
Oh, mine crapped out the exact same spot yours did, though, so, you know, at least that's something. I'm gonna go back. And then I'm gonna try and refresh my browser, see if that works.
Didn't work for me.
Mine went back to the very, very beginning.
Recording gameplay, researching and writing scripts, recording voiceover, and editing it is all a bitch to fit around a day job. Or a day and night job when you're on swing shift. Yeah, it can be a bit of a fucking hassle. I would love to get this channel to the point where I can do it full time, so I can sort of streamline the process a bit easier. I can have more time for doing game streams. I can have more time for, like, other things. Like, especially working on my own game, which I still want to make. I still think about it every day and stuff I can do for it. Stuff for the story and characters and world and, yeah.
I'm on it. Okay, so I did put 100 hours of playtime. And I hated it. The last 85 hours were as bad as the first 15. I'm not going to play.
Mine stopped literally at the exact same spot it did last time.
Can you jump forward to where we are now?
I don't know where you are at now.
149.
Okay. Well, mine says it's at 149.
Alright.
Pile of slop, just so I can
It's
have a
not doing
slightly
anything.
better review. Especially when its problems and the source of my criticism.
Yeah, it's not moving or doing literally anything. I don't know what's going on.
That's weird.
Watch Together's being a pain in the ass.
Watch Together is... I don't necessarily want to blame Watch Together, but I have been having problems with it more recently. I don't know what it could be.
And it's weird because I'm not having any of these issues. It's just you two.
Making sure that there's nothing else that's possibly, like, grabbing anything. I don't see anything.
Creetosis, what game are you making? RPG, immersive sim, platformer? I've got a few ideas in mind for a few different games, but the main one I'm focusing, I guess right now, my thoughts on, I need to do more actual writing for it, is a RPG, JRPG-styled game. I think I've got something good here. I'm trying to, like, work out all the details and stuff to make it solid. What the final product will look like, I have no idea.
Yeah.
Oh god, stag dating virtual novel? No.
No.
No, hell no.
I will never make a dating game or a virtual novel. I have no interest in that.
Yeah.
Do the plus content. The game's so big you can't
God,
have an
this is
appropriate
awful. It's
review
not
without 100
working at
hours
all.
of playtime.
It's not working at all for you.
No, it's just giving me the circle of doom.
Well, I don't know what to do then, because...
No, I've got an idea. Hold on. Grab that. I'm gonna try something, because I want...
$2 from Mystic Space, thank you. If you're making an RPG, what art direction? I'm aiming for an art style similar to Breath of Fire 3. It's one of my all-time favorite games. I love the style of that game. It's an isometric game. With, like, typical JRPG mechanics for the most part. Like
Okay.
RPG part, not fun a J part. JRPGs seem to always be devoid of actual role-playing besides class system. Hope your game will change my mind. Probably not. I was originally wanting more choice in the game, but I figured that would be harder to work with the story I'm making. So I think I'm going to mostly go for a more linear story and just, like, flesh that out really well.
Yeah. Alright, I switched back to Chrome for Watch Together itself. Because I'm curious if maybe Brave blocking a bunch of, like, grabbers and add-ons and everything like that is, like, causing things to go fucky-wucky. So, we'll see if that works.
What's the setting, Creetosis? Fantasy world. Don't want to say too much more than that.
Okay, so I did put 100 hours of playtime into Starfield. And I hated it. The last 85 hours were as bad as the first 15. I'm not going to play 50 hours of your favorite pile of slop just so I can have a slightly better review.
Is that...
I agree in part, but the problem is if your review talks about being a critique or in-depth analysis or analysis at all in it, then yeah, you're going to have to play the 50 extra hours of their slop. Unfortunately.
Yeah, if that's the case, yeah. I think, assuming best faith interpretation, it's literally just a review.
Yeah,
I'm
if it's
fine
like,
at leaving it at that.
yeah, if this is your impressions and these are your reasons why, that's fine. But if you have analysis in there anywhere or like my deep thoughts on it and stuff like that, then yeah, then the problem is you would have to do that, unfortunately.
£5 from Threadnought, thank you. Are you boys gonna try playing Left 4 Dead 2 before or after such praise as Halo Reach? I just want to know if I should expect to actually see it happen. We attempted a stream, someone hacked in and started saying gamer words.
Yeah, and it was somebody from the stream chat, and we know that because they immediately changed their tactic.
It doesn't matter. It's just the fact that someone hacked in. That's all we need to leave it at.
Fair.
Yeah, we'd have to have like 4 players to do anything, and it's kind of hard to work around that. Like, sometimes we can get people in, and sometimes we can't. It just depends.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And even then, I don't know if someone can join on Spectator. You know? It should be limited to just 4 people. I don't know how bad the system is, though.
Yeah, I wouldn't even know about
remember,
that.
it was a private game, and that person got in. I don't know if they can kick one of you from the game. I don't know if they can come in on Spectate or what.
Yeah.
So...
God.
Oh, I'd love to get Cree and Pagan play Dark Tide. So we're waiting for the sale. Come up here for the Christmas sale. See what its discount's gonna be.
Especially when it's problems and the source of my criticism. So you should consider this notice. If it's a prerequisite for you that a game is absolutely finished before you can have an opinion on it, then many of my reviews may not be what you want. Okay. The other criticism that I received, and this is the one that I really want to talk about, is that my review was too subjective. Let me share some examples. Very objective reasons on why it's a bad game. It's fair for you not to like a game, but if you're going to make a review on why a game is objectively bad, then don't just come up with a bunch of subjectively based points on why it's bad.
Yeah, I mean, so far both of those are reasonable, not knowing the context of what they're specifically talking about. Both of those comments seem reasonable to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I haven't seen this guy's actual review for this game, so I can't say for sure if, these are reasonable or not, but just with no context what they're saying, yeah, no, this is totally correct.
I don't even know what the game is he's playing here. He said it's Lords of the Fallen. I don't know what that is.
It's the remake of the original Lords of the Fallen that was dog shit, and apparently this one's less dog shit, but still not great.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what? I think I know what game this is, Cree. When we were watching that thing, remember when she was like, "Oh my God, she's so hot! She's so hot!" I think it's this game. Also, he's blocking the ladder. I think it's this game. I think this is the same game.
Yeah, it's a Souls-like from not from software that doesn't understand what it was to be Souls-like in the first one, and the second one I haven't played it, but I've heard like it's not great at being a Souls-like. Ooh, that's pretty fun. Jim the Derp says Lords of the Fallen is Wish.com Dark Souls.
Damn.
Oof.
Can we get Dark Souls? No, we have Dark Souls at home. Dark Souls at home.
That's another good way to describe it. Lords of the Fallen was basically Dark Souls at home.
Oh no. I mean, yeah, without having played this game itself, I can't comment on how good or bad it is. We're gonna have to rely on what this guy says, because I thought this was more gonna be talking about the actual objective part, which it does seem like he's getting into. It's just I don't have a point of reference for the game itself.
I think if you change the title to I don't like it, instead it's bad, the video would make more sense.
Yeah, that definitely changes things a bit there. It's bad? Okay, that definitely changes things. Hold on, I am curious now as to what his video is actually called. So I'm gonna go check YouTube.
What's the surge then? AliExpress Dark Souls? Oh god. I'd say Poundland Dark Souls would be the surge. And then
okay,
you have Hellpoint.
I did just do a search for Lords of the Fallen is bad, and his video is the first one to come up. Lords of the Fallen review, it's bad.
Yeah, I'm sorry, that's an objective qualifier. You need to then give your evidence for why it's bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because again, there's a difference between something being bad and just like not liking it. I don't like racing games. I cannot say that, you know, the latest Gran Turismo or Need for Speed or whatever else is bad simply because I don't like racing games. And I get that maybe he does like these kinds of games. I'm not saying that he doesn't. I'm saying that personal taste does not equate to something being good or bad. Now,
Yeah.
a lot of people online have trouble with this.
Yep.
Yeah.
I've mentioned it before, but it's an incredibly annoying thing that you see often online where it's like, if you say something is bad, oh, well, that's just your opinion. But you never really get that when you say something is good. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah. It'd be really weird if he's arguing about this and he actually did give like objective qualifiers for why he found the game bad. Because then it's like, well, then
there are people who still somehow don't understand that. Like, yes, I understand giving evidence to prove my point, but that's still subjective. It's like, what?
well, then it's not. You that shit pisses me off. Where it's like you're literally giving evidence to show like the facts of why something doesn't work, and then you're gonna sit here and argue. Oh, it's all subjective.
Hey, this car is bad. Why is it bad? It doesn't have a steering wheel, so I can't turn it. It's just my opinion, though.
It's like, yeah, sorry, that's an objective problem. It's that whole thing of like, does the story ever contradict itself? Are there any plot holes? You know, is there a character that comes out of nowhere to solve the problem? You know, Deus Ex Machina stuff. Like, again, these are things you can actually point to. They aren't like your opinions. Like, no, they either are there or they aren't there. Either there are plot holes or there aren't plot holes.
I wonder if this entire comment is going to be worth reading out, because I don't think he's going to. We'll press play to see how far he goes, and then maybe we'll take another look at it if he cuts it off.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Before I do that, though, $5 from Harv3034, thank you. I'm late. Short man bad. Cree uploaded the backlog, but I have a new vector of bullying. Update the playlist to have all the episodes, Goat Boy, please. Ah!
There you go. More work. The work never ends.
I hate uploading the playlist because YouTube lags so fucking hard with that, and I don't know why. It is a task to fucking add a video to a playlist.
My food has poo in it, Steph. That's just subjective, bro.
I mean, that's probably the most accurate comparison to the video game industry with how shit a lot of games tend to be. I mean, this has been a good year, but still.
Yeah, like, again, so just even surprises, stuff like that. Like, Dave the Diver is really good. RoboQuest is shockingly really, really good. Of course, Baldur's Gate 3 redefined the RPG genre, which is, you know, fucking epic. Like, we've got great stuff that came out. So, but man, oh man, have the big stinkers been big stinking it up real hard.
Negative points are just your preference. Okay.
That skipped a lot for me. Hold on.
It's bad. The video would make more sense. Nearly all of your negative points are just your preference and are not indicative of the quality of the game as a whole.
Okay, I'm pausing it there because he was actually like lowering the comment, so he was going to get rid of it.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, again, not knowing the contents of your thing, that is a problem. Like, if all of your stuff is, and reading by this next one, fast responsiveness versus methodical, more clunky, intentional combat, the amount of enemies and combat pacing, the art style, direction, and overall difficulty are all things that are subjective, and every person who plays will have differences, different preferences and feelings about each. It's the same thing in the Souls community. What's your favorite boss? What's your least favorite boss? You know, what is the wall boss for you? Everybody's boss that they run into the wall at is different. There are those bosses that you physically, for whatever reason, your brain cannot wrap your head around it, not fighting them in a specific way. Like, for example, mine is Dancer of the Boreal Valley in Dark Souls 3. That boss just fucks me up every single time. no matter how many times I played through the game.
Yeah. And as for the art style direction one, like, it's one of those things where, yeah, whether you like the art style of a game or not is going to be very, very subjective. You can talk about how something looks bad, or if something is poorly done. If someone's trying to do a game and their models look fucking terrible, then you can talk about that if it's not necessarily like a specific design choice to make them look like monsters. Like Oblivion, for example, since I've been playing it recently, they're obviously going for not a stylized look for some of the some of the races, I should say, but slightly more realistic as they could get back in 2006? Yeah, 2006. They have aged fucking terribly. They look awful. They look like mutants.
Thief says, difficulty isn't strictly subjective. Some of the Dark Souls 2 difficulty problems are objective because the game hides groups of enemies around corners. I've got a better example for you. How many doors in Dark Souls 2 are actually haha go fuck yourself doors? There's actually quite a lot of them. And there is no, like, warning sign that this is a haha go fuck yourself door. There is no, like, bodies on the ground or blood or scratches on the floor. There's nothing that tells you it's going to happen. You just walk up to the door and suddenly you get, like, hit 3 or 4 times. You get all that health shaved off of you just because, haha, you didn't know this was coming.
Oh,
that is a problem.
So it's just a door where you open and immediately get hit a few times.
Yeah. Like, a good example is in Huntsman's Copse, you will go to a door, and as you're opening it, an enemy on the other side of the door will start a multi-hit swing combo from the other side of the door, which will break the door in while you're still in mid-animation and hit you 3 or 4 times. You have no idea that this door is a fuck you door or not at all.
There shouldn't be such a thing as fuck you doors. That shit is obnoxious. Just hearing that annoys me.
Or you'll walk up to a door, there's no sounds on it or anything like that. There's no like heavy breathing. You don't see like the door shaking or moving. You go to start opening the door and suddenly a giant fat ass hippo demon slams through the wall and crushes you underneath this giant bulk.
Yeah, that's dumb.
Just a fuck you door.
That's dumb. $2 from Harv3034. Thank you. Why is Pagan John Cena? Stream title.
Yeah, it's a joke in reference to this guy's video title.
Yeah.
Creetosis, haven't you played Dark Souls? Yes.
I mean, he can technically say that. He's technically correct. That is the best kind of correct.
Okay.
Fuck, it's like the key word there he said after okay, and it fucking skipped for me.
Yeah, well, he didn't say, he had like kind of a pause there, and he's like, yeah, you'll see when we go through it. He didn't really say anything, and then he had a pause, and then he said something.
All of your negative points are just your preference and are not indicative of the quality of the game as a whole. Okay. Here's the issue with this argument. There's no such thing as an objective review.
Yes, there is.
You are incorrect, sir.
Wrong. You're just wrong.
Yeah. Again, are there plot holes in the story? Yes or no? That's an objective binary. There either are or there aren't. Does the story contradict itself? It either does or it doesn't. Again, these are binaries. These are things that are objective.
The reason I hate this particular argument so much, I'm pretty sure I've talked about this before, is the fact that it oftentimes seems like a cop-out going in, I guess, both directions, where it's like, there's no such thing as objective reviews. Don't criticize me for getting stuff wrong in my review. Or, there's no such thing as objective reviews. Stop criticizing the thing I like. That's usually the angle that these types of comments come from.
Mm-hmm.
$3 from Dileocon, thank you. Why's Aqua in the thumbnail? $3 from Dileocon, thank you. What the heck did she do now? It's a reference to this guy's video because there's a random anime character in the thumbnail.
Yeah.
I didn't know what else to use, so Pagan suggested that.
Yeah, when you rewatch the stream at the beginning, we like show the thumbnail and everything and explain the joke. So, just rewatch the stream, you'll get it.
There are objective measures and subjective value those measures hold for an individual. Yeah, because, like, that's the thing. If you find a massive plot hole in a story that, like, completely breaks the story, it makes it nonsensical, the characters, what they're doing makes no sense, or there's a better way to do it that they would do, but they just don't for some reason. Stuff like that exists regardless of what anyone feels about it. It could ruin the story for you. You might not give a shit at all. That's fine. But it's still there, so it is objectively a problem.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, if you were, Hunt Down the Freeman, for one, where it's like, do you need console commands to even complete the game? Well, yes. Yeah, I consider that a problem. Maybe some people don't care about that, but I do. And it objectively has that issue.
Yeah. Do you need to actually search the controls and bind a key so you can actually finish the game? Like, yeah, that is a major issue. The fact that they have a key that is critical to progression, aka the ability to holster your fucking weapon, so you can actually do the parkour stuff to progress, that's a big problem.
I'm just annoyed that this shit constantly keeps coming. Like, it's always kind of gonna be there, but just the fact that it's so common, this objectivity isn't real thing, is really annoying. Because to me, it only serves to downplay, like, the importance of, like, properly and accurately criticizing things, because no objectivity just amounts to, but my opinion, but my opinion, but my opinion, this is how it made me feel.
And it's so weird, too, because it's like, how else would you even apply objectivity if not to criticize something? And it's like, it has to exist then, because why else would we even have a term for it?
You've never seen it. Objective review.
Oh my god, this video
Yes,
keeps skipping, it's pissing me off.
Oh, well, he's going to make a really absurd claim that cannot be proven.
Okay, yeah, you don't need to recap it for me when I'm about to replay it.
Yeah.
There's no such thing as an objective review. And if there was, you've never seen it. You've never in your life seen an objective review.
Yes, I have.
So?
Bullshit. I have.
I'm sorry, but Mahler's reviews, Patricia's reviews, they are objective reviews. Kree's reviews are objective reviews. I'm sorry, you're just wrong.
Yeah,
I mean, what can you really say other than you're just wrong? You're just wrong. Like, sure, you can make reviews where, you know, it's based around feelings and subjective matters, but to say that no one's ever made a review that's objective is just, it's ridiculous. Hell, I'm willing to bet there are subjective reviews that were intended to be subjective that have objective qualifiers in them.
I mean, that's kind of it by default, because one thing you'll see a lot of times with people like this is they'll put out these no objectivity videos. There's no such thing as objectivity, you can't be objective in reviews, blah 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 blah. They'll put out videos like that when they get criticized for something, or something they like is being heavily criticized. But if you go through their other videos, you'll see oftentimes that they do use objective standards, probably maybe without even realizing it, but like, okay, the combat is bad in this game, and here's an example of why it's bad. This is why this doesn't work. The hitboxes are off. Blah 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 blah. You know, a lot of these people will show their evidence, show their proof for the things they're saying, but then go on to do videos like this.
Well, it's because it's fine when they do it, or they'll have some other, like, cognitive dissonance to be like, oh no, that's not actually objective because I subjectively thought to bring it up. And it's like, yeah, no, you're a fucking idiot.
God, imagine if every review was actually subjective. If that was the case, then it's like, well, then they would be worthless, because you would never be able to reliably pick one that's actually like true.
Yeah.
Because none of them show facts. So it's literally just, oh well, this is completely your opinion, and nothing you have stated is actually factual. So therefore, why should I fucking care?
Yeah.
Yeah, just
again,
imagine reviews from, like, either extreme fanboys for something. Like, imagine an extreme fanboy's review of a Bethesda game. Or, alternatively, a review from a console fanboy for a game of the opposing console. It's like, yeah, that's what we would have if everything is subjective purely.
Yeah.
And remember, he already failed and flunked this test. One, not only in just this argument, as Calbeck points out, hey, is this claim that no one's made an objective review objectively true, or his opinion? Checkmate, neckbeard. But not only that, but again, his Lords of the Fallen review was, this is my review, it's bad. I'm sorry, it's bad is an objective qualifier. That is a statement of fact. Now you have to prove it.
Yeah, because you personally not liking it doesn't mean it's bad.
Yep.
Because if it wouldn't be interesting, there'd be next to nothing you can say about the game if you weren't talking about.
No, that is not
That's
true.
it.
I kept skipping, but... Oh, God, I'm just gonna rewind it quickly and play it again.
In your life, seen an objective review. Because if it wouldn't be interesting, there'd be next to nothing you can say about the game if you weren't talking about your subjective impressions.
So this is something, again, these people say a lot in these kinds of video is there would be nothing to talk about, or I think Jim Sterling mocked the idea of objective reviews once by doing like, yes, it's a game made by this company, released on this date, that's my objective review. It's like,
Printed
no,
on
that's
this
not...
media, sort of thing.
Huh?
He did the full ass pull thing of like printed on this media in this factory.
Yeah. You get what I mean, though.
Yeah.
And that's people who don't fucking understand the difference between subjective and objective, and that's what's so fucking annoying about these videos. So if you play a game and you hate it, maybe there's a reason for it. Maybe it is just your subjective feeling. Maybe it's not your thing. Again, I don't like racing games. I'm probably not going to enjoy sitting down and playing most racing games aside from Mario Kart. Could I go through the game and, like, find out why either I didn't enjoy it or maybe that it's bad? It's possible. I'm sure there's bad racing games out there that are poorly... Well... Big rigs over the road racing. I don't need to be a fan of racing games to say why a game like that is bad.
Yeah.
But I definitely wouldn't be the best person to review racing games. But like, if you do sit down and play a game and you don't like it, and there's something wrong with it, and you go through it and you find, hey, there's problems with the story here and here. That doesn't make sense. The gameplay doesn't work. The gun fires 2 bullets for every 1 bullet I fire, so it's wasting my ammo uselessly, you know? Like, you lose 2 ammo for every single shot, is what I mean there. Just as an example I'm making up off the top of my head. Stuff like that is objective. That's not like, oh, it made me mad, so I'm biased, so it's my subjective feeling. It's like, no. These are problems that you could be able to find in a game and explain why it's bad. And part of my problem with this mindset is the fact that it lets off games that should be criticized for being bad for just like, well, yeah, it's just your opinion that it's bad, when it's like, no, this is a problem that we should seek to correct and fix and not let happen again. Of course, we can't prevent bad games from existing, but if we're critical of its bad elements, we can reduce the likeliness of getting more games like that. Or for good games, it's unnecessarily tearing them down and maybe influencing people away from games they might have otherwise enjoyed. Like, I haven't played Lies of P, but imagine if I made a video saying, yeah, the combat's terrible, the story is awful, blah 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 blah, just because I personally don't like it. But then it ends up actually being an amazing game, and people who might have enjoyed it are now not playing it because of my review. That would be terrible.
Yeah.
And that's why, like, paying attention to the actual details of the game and explaining why things work or don't work is important, as opposed to, yeah, I didn't like it, it's bad. Because I didn't like it.
Yeah. I also find it ridiculous that he's trying to say, like, oh, well, it's not entertaining. It can't be entertaining. And it's like, you realize you could break up talking about the facts of a video game with jokes? You know, you can make something entertaining while also still dryly talking about the facts.
Yeah, I make jokes all the time in my videos, and I think the jokes aren't that great, but I've had people say, yeah, I like the jokes they're putting in there.
Mauler.
Well, just look at Mauler. It's like, is it fun to look at? Is it fun to watch Mauler stuff? Yes. Well, there you go. You've made an entertaining video, or you've watched an entertaining video that is also completely objective. It's just ridiculous. And also this idea that, like, oh, well, if you make a subjective review, it'll be entertaining. It's like, you could be just as boring, just rattling off your opinions that have no actual bearing on the game, and be boring as fuck. Like, you understand that, right?
Yeah. Again, it's just a dishonest way to it's trying to paint his criticizers in a negative light here, because, oh, you want this terrible, boring thing that doesn't actually exist. It's like, no,
Yeah.
We know it exists. We know what it is. The problem is you have no standards and you don't know what it is.
Yeah, it's infuriating finding videos like this, because, like, these people clearly don't know what the fuck they're talking about, and yet they're trying to come off as an authority. Oh, objective reviews don't exist, and if they do, you've never seen one. What?
It's like, I've seen a lot of.
I've seen a bunch of them, yeah.
And you look up reviews for a game, viewers' personal opinion on the quality of the game.
No, I'm not.
No, I'm not.
Again,
I'm
when I
looking
go to
for
Mauler,
them.
I don't care about his personal opinion on the game. I care about his actual factual statements and evidence that he provides for said statements, which he will do in all of his videos.
When I look for a review of anything, whether it's a movie or a video game or whatever, I am not at fucking all looking for the reviewer's personal opinion about how they felt about it. I am looking for how well written it is. Does it have problems? Is it going to be good or bad, you know? You can judge, even to a degree on subjective reviews, but particularly on objective, where it's like, you can judge if you're going to like something or not by the way someone's describing it, especially depending on how much trust you place in them. I generally trust Mahler and Critical Drinker's movie and game reviews. And, well, Drinker doesn't really do game reviews, I don't think. But point is, if I sit down to watch a review he does, and he speaks highly of it, there's probably going to be a good chance I'm going to enjoy it, because I know generally what his standards are when it comes to movies from watching his other content.
Yeah.
It's
I
not-
especially don't care about people's personal opinion, especially nowadays with the amount of pearl clutching these days. I could not give less of a shit about people's personal opinion on a film or a game or anything. Like, just explain, is it good or bad, and give me actual reasons why.
Yeah.
If you can't do that, I'm not interested. I will find someone else to watch.
Yeah.
As Mr. Avalon says in chat, you find people who value the same measures you do. Yeah.
Yep.
£5 from Gorbs. Thank you. In my opinion, this game is great. Woo.
Yeah.
Did you get the Ambrose O'Leary one?
I might not have. Let me just scroll up and grab that quickly. $5 from Ambrose O'Leary. Thank you. If you like JRPGs, you might take an interest in... Is that Ib?
I think it's Ib.
A game about a girl who gets lost in a haunted art gallery and finding herself inside an art world. Maybe. Possibly.
Measurements of quality are subjective.
No, they're
No,
not.
they aren't. Again,
Oh my
no.
god.
by the very fact you said measurements of quality means that, well, there is some way to measure them. that is not subjective. That becomes an objective qualifier then.
God, these people just don't understand that by acknowledging any kind of objective qualifiers, you are literally disproving your own argument.
Yes.
This is so dumb. If you want to argue, well, that doesn't matter to me. Okay, fine, you can have a subjective opinion on that. But it doesn't change the fact that the problem exists. That's objective.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's up to the person to decide whether they care about that sort of thing. It doesn't change the fact that it exists. It exists, and you have to acknowledge it. You have to.
If Bob goes to a store and gets his head blown off, and then Bob is alive in the next scene despite previously seeing his head get blown off with a shotgun, that's a plot hole. That's a problem.
Yeah.
It exists regardless of how much you like it.
Yeah.
It's like such an easy example to reference. Just make up a story on the spot of an impossibility. Bob wakes up, Bob eats breakfast, Bob goes to the store, Bob gets his head blown off with a shotgun, Bob goes home and eats dinner and goes to bed. The story doesn't work because Bob is fucking dead when he gets his head blown off with a shotgun. There is no magic revival. There is no clones. There's no nothing. Bob is fucking dead. Regardless of how much you like or dislike that story, that problem exists. It's an objective fucking fact.
Yep.
Oh my god, my brain just went to a fucking weird place. Because you mentioned Bob getting his head blown off with a shotgun, and I just had something popping in my head where it's like Bob was standing in the middle of the road and got vibe checked by an M2A1 because he didn't clear the road. Clear the road.
Your opinion can't be wrong, but the fact that you use to back up your opinion can be wrong. Some YouTuber that I can't remember the name of.
I
Kinda?
disagree with that statement because, again, it's not stuff to back up the claim. It says, my opinion, Lord of the Rings has too many gunfights. Well, your opinion is just fucking wrong because there are no gunfights.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't matter what you use to back up that claim. Like, the opinion itself is wrong.
I wonder how someone like the person we're covering would react to something like that. It's like, okay, if everything is purely subjective, then my subjective belief of Lord of the Rings is that there's too many gunfights in it. It's a fantasy world. It doesn't make sense for them to have guns. How would he respond to that? How would most of these people respond to that? Because
Likely,
if
they
they're
would do the... Go ahead.
if their response is to just like, I kind of forget where I was going with that. Fuck, you threw me off.
I mean, likely they would do the cosmonaut or whatever his nuts was, and they would just be like, well, that's okay, that's your opinion, sort of thing. You know what I mean? They would just double down on it.
Yeah, if they do that,
safe.
it shows you how fucking bullshit that point of view is, though, because there's no way you can agree with that opinion.
Exactly, which is why he got clowned on when he came on to, when they came on to EFAP.
Okay, it wasn't Cosmo then, because I don't believe he's ever been on EFAP.
Fair enough, but I'm pretty sure that Cosmos made that sort of statement too. But it's whoever that guy that came on EFAP, he tried to do that thing too, and of course tried to weasel out of like, is it the best one or not?
Oh, you're talking about Twin Perfect.
Twin Perfect, yes. Again, the more than likely they'll try to weasel their way out of it and try to think they're clever doing it.
Yeah.
And it's just gonna like backfire on them horribly.
Oh my god, I could totally see some idiot like that being like, well, I mean, technically you could consider a sword a type of gun or some dumb shit like that. Like, oh my god, you fucking idiot. It's a weapon. It's basically the same thing.
Well, crossbows are like a gun. They've got a trigger and ammunition.
It reminds me of that one video EFAP watched quite a while back where he argued that it makes sense that Rey can use a lightsaber because swords are stick-like weapons, and she like was trained with the quarterstaff at the start of the movie.
Oh
and it just
God.
became a meme in the EFAP community to call everything a stick-like weapon after that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that is exactly the argument they would make. Magic equals guns. Yeah, they would totally do that. They'd be like, "Oh, it's basically the same thing."
But no one fires a fucking firebolt in Lord of the Rings.
I know, but they would still be like, "Well, the existence of magic means there's probably projectile weapons. A bow.
That's
He'd probably say
still
a bow
different.
is a gun."
That's why I said crossbow. A crossbow because it has a trigger and ammunition.
Yeah, he would be like, "Oh well, if they showed a bow on screen, it's basically a gun, so you're wrong.
Yeah.
Checkmate, libtard."
No. So you're right. Because remember, the opinion was that there's too many gunfights. So therefore, your opinion's right. Because again, we're talking about these people being completely disingenuous and up their own ass.
Mm-hmm.
$5 from Just Guy from Alabama. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Emesis Blue is really good, but one of the most underrated aspects of Emesis Blue is the Scout Monster sound design.
Yeah, that, yeah, that scene in particular really like freaked me out. The sound is so good. God, I want to watch Emesis Blue again. I love it. So good.
Yep.
Review was going to limit itself to just talking about objective attributes of a game and criticize it on that basis, then I would be limited to talking about things like bugs, performance issues.
No, you
wouldn't. For fuck's
No,
sake,
you wouldn't.
I hate
Again,
this reductive bullshit. You know what else is objective? The stats every single item in the game has. If the only weapons you can get do one single damage, and enemies have like 1,000,000 health, well guess what? That's a fucking problem.
Yeah.
If you get an item that says that it does like 70 damage, and then you hit the target and it only does 2 damage, that's a problem. That means the base stat is wrong.
Again, like, sure, you will be talking about bugs and stuff like that, but you're also going to be talking about the character arcs, the story, the narrative. Like, all of this stuff can be objectively measured. Again, does the story contradict itself? Yes or no? Does the story have plot holes? Yes or no? These are objective things you can actually measure. Now, the statement of, like, what impact the story had on you as a person, yeah, that's entirely subjective. But all the rest of it isn't. Again, character A is in the story, character A gets killed, and we no longer follow character A. Suddenly character A shows back up at the end because somehow Palpatine survived. Like,
no. It's not somehow Palpatine survived. Somehow Palpatine returned.
Returned, that's right.
Which is even better. It's even worse.
Oh my god. I can't believe these people demanded more pay.
I can't believe that they actually gave in and gave these people pay.
Oh,
I know.
God.
Like you could actually hire chimpanzees to write on typewriters and get better material.
Than Hollywood writing staffs, for sure.
Of which Lords of the Fallen has many, by the way. I would be talking...
Okay, so again, you're now making an objective claim. Lay them out now, son. You just fucked yourself because you said it has these problems. It has objective problems. Okay, make the claims then. Where's your evidence?
I would assume that's in his actual review. He did say he wasn't going to talk about the game much again here. I would assume the
but
bugs...
judging by the giant wall of text comment, he didn't do that in his review. Again, I'm going based off the comment that he specifically showed and highlighted in his video.
Yeah.
In this video.
Well, to give the best benefit of the doubt, I would assume there's a bugs section in his video, but his video also talks about things like, what that comment was talking about that he wasn't being objective about.
Yeah, the game feels too fast, or whatever. Or maybe the game doesn't feel fast enough. I don't know, one way or the other.
But again... yeah.
times when I tried to boot it. How many valuable resources I lost as a result of some bug. I talk about how the multiplayer is nearly unplayable.
Okay. Again, do you not realize what you're doing? That's not, again, if it's unplayable, it either is unplayable, and these are your reasons X, Y, Z, or it's not unplayable, and it's just your subjective feeling that it is unplayable.
Well, I mean,
You can actually measure that.
I would allow in this. Well, allow. I would say that you can say it's nearly unplayable if it's like really poorly done. It's like you can play it. It's not very good.
That's why I said if that would be X, Y, Z. What are your reasons why? Like, do you have reasons why? Well, congratulations. Now you've given an objective argument for why it's unplayable.
Yeah, you could measure it.
Yeah.
God, it's crazy seeing people
Want
try
an
to make these
objective review?
arguments because it's so blatantly contradictory to what they're trying to say. Where it's like, but you're literally using statements of fact and measurements that's an objective qualifier. You're literally using an objective statement to try and prove that everything is subjective. That makes no sense. You absolute moron.
Well, right now he's talking about the things he would have to talk about if he were only to do a objective review.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And again, it's like, yeah. And this is what people do talk about in their objective reviews.
But a lot of this stuff applies to like single player games and portions of games too, and he doesn't seem to realize that.
Yep.
It's really weird. $5 from Lantern's Glow, thank you. So you know Vampire Survivors? Great game. Simple as hell, hard to master. Love to see these brainlets critique it. Yeah.
Unplayable. You want an objective review? Here, let me give you an objective review.
Oh, boy.
Are we prepared for the biggest straw
boy.
man made up nonsense we have ever heard?
Allow me to show you my magnum opus.
You just
Oh,
activated
God, this
my
is-
Topus card.
This is gonna be fucking cringe.
Yeah, this is gonna be real bad. Anybody that's ever done this has
I could tell you what's...
absolutely face planted out of the starting gate.
I could tell you what it's gonna be right now. It's gonna be that thing I referenced that Jim Sterling did earlier. This is a game. It's made by this company. It was released on this date. It was released for these platforms. It is this big of a file size to download or install on your computer.
Oh my god, if he actually does that, it means that he literally just watches Jim Sterling and took that and was like, oh my god, he's so right. I'm gonna put that in my video.
I'm not going to say that means he watches Jim Sterling. I would never imply something so horrible about anyone without proof.
Yeah.
That is a common argument among people who say that there's no objective reviews. It's not purely a Jim Sterling. I'm not even sure Jim Sterling is the first one to do that shitty thing. You know?
God, he's the only one I've ever heard make that argument, so, but maybe.
We'll have to see. Like, it'd be more hilarious if he actually name drops and he's going, I got that from Mr. Sterling. And it'd be like,
Oh my god, that would be hilarious. Krieg goes on this whole thing, I'm not going to assume that about him, then literally as soon as we hit play, just like Jim Sterling said in his video, and then proceeds to do I'm going to die.
that would be fucking amazing. He'd be like, well, there was your problem. You listened to Jim Sterling.
Here it goes. Lords of the Fallen came out in 2023.
Uh-oh, Cree. Uh-oh.
I hate
Oh my
being
god.
correct sometimes.
He's literally doing the thing.
I hate being correct. I gotta resist using a gamer word here. Holy shit.
This is what
I'm
happens
already
when somebody,
fucking annoyed.
This is what happens when somebody with low intelligence to no intelligence thinks they're intelligent.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is...
Oh my god.
This is already fucking terrible. Oh god.
This is so beyond reductive, and it's so insane too, because it would be so easy to challenge this, to just ask him a simple question where it's like, yeah, no, you know you can't answer that without it being either a lie, like it's so easy, because like literally we could do the fucking Lord of the Rings thing we brought up, and it's like, yeah, either you're lying and you know that, or you're just gonna dodge the question and be like, well, it's subjective because I think it's subjective.
Exactly, which, again, would destroy you in the argument.
Yeah. It's like, okay, well, then you're just admitting you're wrong.
Yep. Here we go.
The levels and bosses.
Oh my god.
I promise I'm not gonna pause ever again.
That's skipped for me.
Genuinely
Please stop pausing.
The game has a lot of different weapons and spells. It's commonly classified as an action RPG. The game
That's
doesn't
when I
have
forgot
save
the
points.
genre.
You can upgrade your weapons, but only if you want to. I'm not saying that you'll have a better experience if you upgrade your weapons, because you might have a better experience if you don't upgrade your weapons.
That's not even accurate.
Like, what the fuck are you doing now? Like, now you just fucked your own example. What the fuck are you doing?
God, I really do hate these people.
Well, again, it's what happens when you have low intelligence, but you think yourself clever. You think yourself intelligent.
Yeah, this is... God, it's so pathetic. It's just so pathetic. And he knows it's wrong. Like, there's no way he's this dumb where he thinks, oh yeah, you can't give objective qualifiers in a review. It's just impossible. Unless it would literally just be this. Because everything else is subjective. And it's like, that's not true.
You know what
Like,
I would be
you
curious
can show
about?
evidence.
Maybe after
What?
we're finished this video, we should check out, like, just a random review on his channel. Not even for Lords of the Fallen, because that's a video that's contentious here. Let's grab a random video and just skip to a random point and see if he makes any objective claims that are provable.
Yeah, that
Alright.
would work.
Because, yeah. I hate this so much. It's the same thing every disingenuous fucking baguette does. When they have to say, oh yeah, objectivity doesn't exist. Yeah.
God, it's just so dumb. How could you ever watch a review? Why would you ever want to watch a review then if there was no such thing as objectivity? It would just be useless nonsense. Like, if you're not going to back up anything with facts, then what's the point? This idea that, well, no one is actually wrong. It's like, you idiot. Do you not understand that is how so many problems arise when you can't tell someone they're wrong?
Yeah.
Yep.
It's just a free pass for everyone to say whatever fucking shit they want.
Yeah. Oh, well, it's fine if I agree with mass murder. It's just a subjective opinion. Oh my god.
Experience is an opinion and outside the purview of this review. This has been my Lords of the Fallen review. Thank you for coming.
Again, you disingenuous idiot. You can talk about the story, the character arcs, the designs even. Does the design actually work? Again, Fallout 4 is an example. The weapons in Fallout 4 make no fucking sense. They don't work. Like the Fallout 4 assault rifle, for God's sakes, that shoots bullets up through the top of the gun itself so that they can shoot off to the right and then veer wildly to the left for some reason.
Yeah. It's
Like,
just an
holy
abortion of physics. The guns are ejected out of the left side... Sorry, out of the right side of the gun, and they fly up and over to the left across your view.
I know you meant bullet casings, but the fact you said the guns are ejected immediately reminded me of Enter the Gungeon. Because there's a gun that shoots guns. Which is
Yeah, the casings. Yeah.
The guns are ejected.
Okay. My point is, an objective review would only be able to talk about facts, and would
Okay, so
be able
first
to
of all,
extrapolate.
first of all, yes, you can talk about facts. There's facts to pretty much every aspect of a game. Second of all, I told you my disingenuous bullshit example. The point I'm getting at, the point I proved with that. Shut the fuck up.
Yeah, you didn't prove anything with that. In fact, you
Yeah.
actually proved you don't know what objective reviews are. Like I said, here's a fact. Does the story have plot holes? Yes or no? That is a fact. Does the story contradict itself?
Plot
Yes
holes
or
are just
no?
your
That's a fact.
opinion. That's just your opinion.
So again, this is just utter insanity.
Yeah.
So you're saying and I love how his thing was like objective reviews can only talk about the facts. It's like, okay, so you're saying then all of your reviews are filled with lies and nonsense. Great endorsement, you dumbass.
Not so much lies and nonsense, but it's just my personal opinion on the game. Okay?
Well, again, he said only objective reviews can only talk about the facts. So what you're saying by that implication, by that there are no objective reviews, you're saying that you have lies and misinformation within your reviews. Congratulations, great endorsement of your content, idiot.
Yeah, this is really bad. Jesus, how are you gonna sit here and say that kind of shit? Like, oh my god, this is so frustrating. I hate this kind of shit. Like, oh, these type of people just drive me up the wall.
Yeah, I this is fucking infuriating for me too.
Oh, yeah, no, if you ever just say the facts of a game or like in a review, this is all it would be. You wouldn't be able to talk about any of the actual substantive content.
Yep.
Wrong! Wrong!
I have 14 hours of video on Fallout 4 that say otherwise, my friend.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Alright, my IBS kicked in. Feel free to continue. I will be right back.
What an excuse for not having to deal with this shit for a few minutes.
I know. Instead of listening to it go in my ears, it's coming out the other end.
Facts mean. You can't talk about...
It keeps fucking skipping. Like, it does... Pagan, when we're watching stuff on Watch Together off stream, it doesn't skip this much.
I know. This is so weird, and I'm not having any issues. It doesn't do any of that stuff for me, just you and Setch.
Yeah, and you can't even claim it's the tabs because Setch is having the same problem.
Yeah. And I also have a lot of tabs open.
Yes, good.
God, this is just so weird. Oh, you know what? I do pop Watch Together out, like from the browser itself onto my other monitor. Maybe that, like, isolates it somehow?
I don't know. I doubt it.
I doubt it too, but it's the only thing I can think of because it's the only thing I'm doing differently is I'm popping
Can't really
the tab
do that
out.
though because it would fuck up the capture.
Yeah, sure. I didn't think about that. Also, this point he's going into, the whole, like, you can't have subjective and objective claims in the same video. Yeah, you can. You could talk about subjective elements in a review.
A lot of
and
people...
why you feel...
Go ahead. Sorry.
Basically, I don't know. Just the whole, like, you know, you could talk about subjective elements in a review while also going over the objective facts of something. You could say, well, here's the objective fact of this thing, but here's also my subjective take on it. There's nothing wrong with doing that, so long as you're actually giving facts to, like, actually tell people, like, whether this thing is good or not. There's nothing wrong with also giving a subjective opinion on something.
Yeah, there's actually a lot of reviewers who go their way to say, yeah, this is the subjective and this is the objective.
Yes. In my opinion, Kree is a furry.
That opinion is wrong. It's factually incorrect. Stop laughing, you know it's incorrect.
Okay, go boy.
Shut up.
facts and wouldn't be able to extrapolate as to what the facts mean. You can't talk about quality without talking about opinion.
Yeah, bullshit.
What the fuck are you talking about?
That doesn't even make sense. That's literally not true. That is like the exact opposite, in fact. Like, that is like the only way you can measure quality is by using an objective standard. Otherwise, you wouldn't be able to measure it, you idiot.
This is actual fucking insanity. You cannot talk about quality without talking about opinion. How the fuck do you come to that conclusion?
Yeah, because opinion does not dictate quality. If I were to sit down and watch Andor and say it's completely shit, in my opinion, therefore, like, that is how you judge whether it's good or bad, I'm sorry, but that's not how it works.
I mean, just use my example, the racing games again. In my opinion, racing games are boring. I don't enjoy them. I don't find them fun. Therefore, the quality of the game is poor? No. That's not how that fucking works at all.
Yeah.
Actual insanity.
That is so ridiculous. It's almost like he thinks that you can't detach your personal feelings from the actual facts of the game.
Well, a lot of people are like that, to be fair, where they assume, for some reason, I don't know why, that because you feel this about that, that means it's not... You can't be objective. Like, oh, we like Andor, therefore, of course, they're going to say Andor is good. But, like, we criticize Andor where, like, the parts where it fails, the parts where it's not good. You know?
God, I hate to say this, but it's kind of true. I think the ability to dissociate whether you personally like something from the actual quality is something that you require just a certain level of IQ for, and a lot of people just don't have the IQ for it. Which sounds really fucked up and kind of like, you know, self-filleting on my part, but at the same time it's like, it's true though. It has to be.
Yeah, maybe. It does seem pretty fucking insane to me that we do have to deal with so many people who have trouble understanding that what you feel and the actual quality of something are two different things.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, you're back. Good timing. We are rewinding.
No!
Yes! Yes! Hold on.
Okay. My point is, an objective review would only be able to talk about facts, and wouldn't be able to talk about quality without talking about opinion. Talking about opinion.
But you can. Again, like, does the story contradict itself?
No.
Does
Such.
This is things you can
Such.
fucking do.
You can't talk about quality without talking about opinion, though.
Good God, man. Jesus fucking Christ.
Oh
Yeah, I
my
agree.
God.
I'm sorry, I agree with Pagan. That there's just some people that are just too stupid. They just don't get it.
I mean, think about it. It's like anytime you see somebody who is capable of dissociating themselves, like how they personally feel about something, with the actual quality of something, it's always someone of a certain IQ. And the people who think, like this guy, they're always also of a certain IQ, and they're not the same.
Yeah. One is significantly higher than the other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, and I hate
just...
to break it to Rada Toskar here, but yours is not the higher one.
It is so fucking weird hearing someone say that quality is tied. The quality of something is tied to your opinion on it. Fucking absolute clown logic.
I just realized something.
What?
What a name to call yourself for a channel that does reviews.
So I know it's the fucking, like, I almost said Greek, it's not Greek. Norse myth of that one squirrel. I don't know what that fucking squirrel is, though.
Ratatotsker is the fucking squirrel. He's like the messenger. And and his favorite pastime is going between this giant eagle and the dragon in hell, and spreading lies to one another that they're insulting one another to make them angry at each other. Like, his whole thing is that he's a liar and that he loves to trick people and make up shit. And it's like, that's what you decided to name your channel after for doing reviews. Yeah, he literally spreads misinformation. That is literally his goal. And you named yourself after that.
The voices will not stop in chat. He literally spreads misinformation. Literally me, for real, for real.
I didn't even think about that until you mentioned his name. I'm like, oh my god, his name is Ratatotsker. Oh my god, that's so funny.
Wow.
It's so fitting.
Let me demonstrate that with this comment that I showed. Beginning of the comment, it says, fast response versus methodical, more clunky intentional combat, the amount of enemies and combat pacing, the art style direction, and overall difficulty are all things that are subjective, and every person who plays will have different preferences and feelings about each. Now, all the things that...
Yes. And they're right. That is subjective. Like, the way you feel about those is subjective. Now, you could make it an objective argument if you talk about the slow and clunky gameplay being literally impossible to do anything, which is one of my big problems in The Surge, where your character, like, feels like they have to recite an entire poem before you actually attack. And the problem is that enemies attack much faster. You get staggered, the enemy does not. The enemy has hyper armor on every single one of their attacks. That's all enemies. Which is also what made stuff like fast attack weapons, like, useless in Surge 1. I've heard they fix it later, but I'm talking about Surge 1. So, like, if you use the daggers, for example, or you use the quarterstaff, like, you were just getting slapped around by enemies because their hyper armor would just hyper armor through it, and then they crack you for a big chunk of your health. Something that you don't have the luxury of recovering. And I should say, don't have the luxury of recovering without cost, like costing of resources and everything. That is a problem. That's an objective flaw with the game. What he's saying here, on just the overall emphasis of it, is, yeah, that's all purely subjective. What the commenter is talking about is subjective to each person.
Yeah. 5 pounds from Gorbs. Thank you. If you buy a box of fruit and everything inside is made of cardboard, is it just your opinion that it's not good fruit? Apparently.
Yeah.
Now, all the things that are true. This guy clearly understands the difference between objective and subjective. Let's see what he has to say a little further down in his comment.
Okay.
Liza P., a game which you said to be one of the best non-FromSoft Souls-likes, has much more objective design issues, such as incredibly linear map design, to the point that almost can't be considered a Souls-like, inability to respec until after one of the hardest bosses in the game, limited build variety, the player having 0 poise despite enemies having 100% poise almost every attack.
Oh, I really do hate that. You get slapped around with everything and you have no hyper armor. All the enemies have hyper armor. I really, really despise that in game design.
See, I'm not familiar enough with the game or the style to talk about whether that would actually be an objective problem or not.
The linear level design isn't necessarily part of what makes a Souls-like a Souls-like. However, or not, I should say, because he's saying the linear level design is the big problem. Because there is no exploration, there is no shortcuts and stuff like that, I assume is what he's getting at. Which would make it a lesser Souls-like, for sure.
Yeah, backtracking without shortcuts can be tedious. That's why shortcuts are sometimes, like, necessary in games. I do want to say quickly, too, though, that the thing he's countering is a comment here, and we don't know what the other comments that he got are like. There could be comments that much better demonstrate objective issues than this comment. Because, again, a lot of the times, this guy clearly isn't coming into this with any kind of good faith. A lot of times when people are arguing against a point they really, really hate, they'll pick the worst example of the thing they don't like, where it's someone who, much like them, misunderstands the subject and takes that as the example of, see, objective criticism is dumb. You know?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I definitely think that this is someone who doesn't understand what subjective and objective are.
Yeah.
And I'm not talking about the comment, by the way, Radotosker. I'm talking about you.
$5 from Kelbeck. Thank you. This is $5. I don't feel like I'm really spending anything, therefore this super chat was free. Reality is a burden. Embrace Slanesh. Oh no.
Do you hear the voices too?
We good to continue?
Yeah.
Phase boss marathons which require you to slowly kill the first phase Ultimately, or before you can fully learn the second phase, and the fact that the game really doesn't do almost anything interesting, or that even resembles the source material of Pinocchio. I really love this comment. I really like this comment.
Oh, I bet you
Yeah.
do, because it serves as a good straw man against the point you're trying to argue against.
Exactly.
Yes.
Like
Again,
that
some of the
felt
stuff he said
so. That felt so cherry picked, where it's like, yeah, most of that is subjective after he called it objective, but it's like, I'm
Yes.
willing to bet if we looked at your actual comment section, there's way better comments you could have used.
Yep. I have a gut feeling again because you have established you have no idea what
Hold on.
objectivity versus subjectivity is.
We're in for a fucking doozy here. Look at Thief's comment.
This is my favorite part. Uh-oh.
Yeah, uh-oh.
Oh no.
Uh-oh is fucking right. I'm gonna rewind a
boy.
few seconds to hopefully prevent skipping.
Yeah.
I love this comment. I really like this comment because it shows you the disconnect that happens in people's brains. They're very good at picking out what's subjective in the opinions other people have that don't agree with them. But they're very bad at figuring out what's subjective when it comes to their own opinion. So
Oh my god! You know what I mean? Again, talking to a mirror without realizing he's talking to a fucking mirror.
That is fucking
Yeah.
amazing. Holy
Holy
shit.
shit.
We were in for a doozy, but it's not the doozy I thought it was. I understand why this is Thief's favorite part. Holy
Yeah,
shit.
he literally just confessed himself right there, right in front of all of us.
You have no right to talk about people's IQ.
Oh my god. Yeah, the sheer lack of self-awareness. Yeah, holy
Confession
fuck.
through projection.
Wow. That is hilarious. That is so funny.
That's amazing. I love it. 10 out
yeah.
of 10.
God, how do you have just no self-awareness at all?
I'm accidentally a prophet. I was just making a reference to the EFAP. This is my favorite part meme. I'm accidentally a future seer.
Yeah. God, I mean, we knew he cherry-picked this one real hard, but the fact that he cherry-picked this one real hard, and then absolutely BTFO'd himself and his, like,
Without realizing
smug-ass
it.
rebuttal is crazy.
Without fucking realizing it.
Yeah. Holy shit, that is actually funny.
but he talks about the objective design issues, and then goes on to list a litany of opinions. Linear map design is not an issue, it's a design choice.
But it
Depends on what
can
the
be an
game
issue.
is.
Again, yeah, what is the game going for? Like, linear design is absolutely an issue dependent on other factors. He can make that claim, and then he needs to back that claim up. If he does successfully back that claim up, then guess what? That is an objective fact.
It also-
that the linear map design is a problem.
It also depends on how the game plays, too. So if you're playing a game where, much like the Souls games, most enemies respawn every time you do a save, or, sit at a campfire, whatever, you know what I mean.
Yes.
But there's also no shortcuts, and you have to do a lot of fucking backtracking. Yeah, that would be an issue.
Yeah, absolutely. That'd be a
Because
fucking nightmare.
traveling from place to place, and no fast travel either, traveling from place to place would be a fucking slog.
Mhm.
$2 from Unchained Deity, thank you. Have some money because you're epic. Oh, well, thank you.
Yeah, thank. Like, again,
Yeah,
in
there's
the
a
first...
lot of qualifiers for that, because it's like it
Yeah.
could be subjective, but it really depends on the type of game and what they actually were going for, what they were trying to do, and whether they accomplished it or not. Because otherwise, it's like, well, maybe that's an intentional thing. Maybe it's meant to be difficult in that regard to
Yeah.
like counterbalance something else in the game.
Yeah. I guess let's see.
Or not, it's good or bad.
No.
It's
it was-
not-
It
No.
skipped a lot for me there. Hold on.
Okay.
Linear map design is not an issue, it's a design choice. Whether or not it's good or bad is an opinion.
Which, that's
No.
incorrect. Again, there are other stuff that are dependent on it. Again, he needs other qualifiers. He needs his XYZs. XYZ, why is it bad? Like, explain why it's bad for this reason. Well, because you go back, when you die, you get set back over 10 minutes of progress, of 10 minutes of just straight running. However, it won't just be straight running, so this now goes from the X problem to the Y problem. There are enemies everywhere that constantly block progress, and you must defeat those enemies before you continue progress. It's like, okay, I'm starting to understand why the linear map design is a problem. There's no way to get around these enemies, and to get back to a boss, you have to run the gauntlet every single time. Yeah, that would be a problem.
Also, good and bad are subjective. No, good and bad are objective qualifiers.
Yep.
Yeah.
Again, if he said whether you like it or not is subjective, yeah, that's entirely true. Saying whether it's good or bad, I'm sorry, good is an objective qualifier, bad is an objective qualifier.
I might need to hear that again. I'm going to roll it back just a little bit.
Whether or not it's good or bad is an opinion.
And again, it's not.
Yeah.
Not an opinion.
Yeah.
A non-linear game is not objectively better than a linear game, as a matter of course.
Now you're conflating things, because, 'cause that's
linear
games
said.
and non-linear games aren't objectively better or worse than the other. What matters is what the game is designed for. If you're an open-world game with, the point of exploring, and yet the entire game is a linear corridor, I don't mean, literally just a straight line. There could be twists and turns. Point is, there are no branching paths. Then yeah, that would be, objectively bad for an open-world exploration game. You can't explore when you're in a tunnel that goes one direction.
Yep. And again, as Chris said, it doesn't need to be a literal, just straight path. Final Fantasy XIII is called the Final Hallway for a reason. It has stuff that, it obviously twists and turns, and you take place on planets, but when you lay it out, strip out all of the color and everything like that, and do an overhead map of an area, it's literally just a single hallway you're constantly following everywhere. It's really infamous for that.
Player not having poise is a design choice.
Did he skip the respec thing?
Yeah.
So
He also skipped limited build variety. So he skipped limited build variety, and he skipped the respec thing.
So I'm going to comment on both of those quickly. For the respec thing, I don't know what the spec system is, the specialization system. I don't know what that is in Liza P. But, hypothetical, what if there's a game where you can make a build that makes it unviable to complete a game, and you can't fix that until you get the ability to respec, which you can't do now? That would be an objective problem.
Yep.
Yeah.
Limited build variety. It depends what kind of game you're going for, because some games are only designed around 2 or 3 builds, or some games have dozens of potential builds. Depending on what that is, that could be a problem too. Just because you found a build you like, and doesn't mean that there's enough build choices.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know, the inability to respec thing, because it's I know we've already said it's subjective, but it's I don't know a whole lot about Lies of P. I haven't watched a full playthrough of it or anything. So I don't know what he's referring to when he says after one of the hardest bosses in the game. It's okay, but how early into the game is that? Because if it's early enough, you could just restart the game with a different character and not lose that much progress. Or is it halfway through the game, after you defeated already a bunch of other bosses, you come to like the hardest boss in the game. It's like halfway through the game. Now you can respec your character. Yeah, that'd be ridiculous. But we don't know.
Yeah. Mr. Revelon in chat says, if you botched your build, you might have to start over. Are you talking about Lies of P specifically? And if so, how far into the game is the respec boss? Because if it is, I'd say even 25% of the way into the game, that's pretty bad.
Yep.
Yeah.
He couldn't cherry pick a lower hanging fruit? Yeah, it seems like it. It seems like he found the worst example of someone asking for objectivity, and he's going all in on that. And that's part of the reason I fucking hate these kinds of videos. Yeah. No, just an example of it being an objective flaw. Okay, yeah, then fair enough. Yeah.
Works out is a matter of he is clearly inspired by, also didn't have poise. And
God,
Bloodborne
the
is one of
skipping is insufferable.
And whether or not it works out is a matter of opinion. Bloodborne, a game that Lies of P is clearly inspired by, also didn't have poise. And Bloodborne is one of the most beloved From Software titles.
Oh, okay, now, again, you're being completely disingenuous.
You're conflating things.
Yeah, Bloodborne has an entirely different system. Bloodborne's entire design philosophy was the idea of timed aggression. So, when it came to the Soulsborne series, normal Dark Souls games, their entire system was the methodical, careful, calculated attack windows. Bloodborne, instead, by Miyazaki's own words, its intention was to go pure aggression. Which is also why, when you get hit, you get chip damage. And you have that yellow health bar where, hey, you know, if you back off, if you do the Dark Souls thing, you back off and try to reassess the situation, you're going to be punished even further for it. If you instead get more aggressive and re-attack the enemy and go and engage again, you'll regain that health per hit that you do. Like, that's a really good system to emphasize the fact that you need to be aggressive. That's the style of the game Bloodborne's going for. Yeah, he is, as chat's pointing out, he is also doing the appeal popularity fallacy as well.
And whataboutism. And just on the appeal to popularity fallacy, as an example, every single person in chat is going to see coming. Skyrim, Fallout 3, Fallout 4. These are popular, beloved games. They're not good.
Yep.
Just because a lot of people like them doesn't mean, like, their design choices are good.
Yeah, again, this is that whole thing where you can counter the person's argument with saying, like, okay, so we should never have any other restaurant except McDonald's.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that is so shit. The idea that, like, oh yeah, I'm going to compare it to Bloodborne. It's like, okay, but they have a system in place to counter that. Does Lies of P? Does this game?
Yep.
That's the thing you have to take into effect. It's not just, oh, well, this game has a similar thing to this, so therefore it's fine. And it's like, well, no, they're not the same. There's a workaround in the example you're giving. Is there one for this? Is there one for the one he's talking about? If there's not, that's a problem.
Yep.
Because if you get swatted around constantly like a fly, and you can't do anything to even remotely stagger the enemy, that's a problem.
Yep. Mr. Avalon, billions of flies cannot be mistaken. Yes, we should all just eat poop. Clearly poop is popular. Look how many insects eat it.
Jesus, that's fucking disgusting.
Yeah.
Not being able to learn the second phase of a boss fight before you get killed is not an objective design issue.
It can be. Again, this is another one of those XYZ things. Like, what if you do a boss fight, a really ball ache boss fight, right? Or even not a ball ache boss fight. Let's just say you kill this boss really quick and he goes into phase 2. And because you had no way of knowing that, oh, before you go into phase 2, make sure you turn on these generators in his arena that aren't highlighted. And then he just insta-kills you because you didn't have any generators turned on. Like, yeah, that's a problem.
Yeah, you need more qualifiers is the thing, because it's like, what dictates something being like an unwinnable second phase. Because I'm sure a lot of people would probably like point at Melania, and it's like, well, no, you can absolutely do her second boss fight or her second phase. It's all about skill.
Yep. Did the American just say Zed? I do it interchangeably. I do Z and Z.
I do Z because it sounds natural to me. Because Z just sounds fucking weird.
Yeah. I just do it because it does kind of add emphasis when you do specific, like, shorthands, like XYZ. I think that has more emphasis on what it is.
No, that makes me feel physically uncomfortable. XYZ.
Fine. We'll do XYZ then.
Moog, I completely disagree. My first time fighting Moog, I almost beat him on the first try. He had just a sliver of health, and he managed to kill me. It's like, nah, if I had just been a little bit better, I could have got him on the first try. So no, I don't agree with that.
XYZ-tosis.
No. It doesn't even make sense.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of a good example for a boss that's just literally a fuck you. Like, again, because I haven't played Lies of P, so maybe Lies of P actually has a really good example of these boss fights doing this. But I am trying to think of a boss where if you didn't do a thing, like, I guess that's another example where, let's just say not the generator thing. What if you almost kill the boss in the second phase and he suddenly starts regaining all of his health, so you go to stop him, thinking of like what you're trying to do, and or some way to stop him, and it just can't, because you don't know the magical thing that, oh, you need to actually slap him with this, and that stops him. First sheath fight? You mean Seat the Scaleless? I mean, that's a supposed to lose fight.
Yeah, I wouldn't count that one. I guess maybe if you had a boss where when they go into their second phase, they suddenly just send out like a wave of energy that will instantly kill you no matter what, and you have to double jump over it, and there's nothing that ever would like tell you that you need to specifically double jump over it. Maybe that could be something like that, but even then...
Mr. Avalon, Moog is fuck you if you don't have any way to negate knee heal and fail the vigor check. I disagree because, again, I almost killed the first time. I didn't have anything to negate knee heal.
Yeah, I didn't either. I didn't even know.
Vigor. I just spammed my heal.
Yeah, I didn't even know about the tier that you could get for your flask to negate that. I didn't even know about that when I fought him, and like I said, I almost killed him on my first try. I just literally a sliver of health, one more hit, and he would have been dead, and he got me because I ran out of heals.
You can also one-shot Moog, too, which is funny as fuck.
Yeah, it's funny.
The one-shot builds in Elden Ring, like, the people doing the super autistic, like, and then I'm going to take this, and then I'm going to stab myself, and then I'm going to heal recover with this blade, and then I'm going to dance around the pole, and then I'm going to drink this, and then I'm going to chug one of these, and then I'm going to break this across my forehead. It's like, okay. And then you see them walk up, and they're like, now I do a scream, and then, boop, and they just die immediately.
Yeah.
It's literally the One Punch Man. He just comes up and just, boop.
It's also one of those things where it's like, sometimes you're on it, sometimes you're just not. Like I said, the first time I ever fought Moog, I killed him in like 3 tries, and I almost got him on the first try, but then when I tried to fight him on stream, I probably fought him like 15 times. It's like, sometimes you're on it, sometimes you're not. It literally comes down to skill. Because it's really not even that hard to deal with the second phase. It's just sidestep, and then if you don't have anything to negate his heal, just heal through it. Whenever you get hurt, just pop a potion. And as long as you sidestep and keep on the damage, he'll die.
Ooh, that is actually a good example. What about the giant invisible snow leopard in the Dark Souls 2 DLC? Yeah, that's a fuck you for sure right there.
Oh, right.
Because you have no way of knowing that that's coming. You have no way of knowing there's going to be an invisible fucking boss unless you traverse around the entire, like, area to then collect stuff, to collect the eye that lets you see the fucking boss. Like, you have no idea that's coming. So if you walk into the boss room, you suddenly just get trounced on by an invisible enemy you can't see. Now, some people have fought it and they've killed it, but that's just one of those things where it's like, Jesus Christ, that is dumb.
Yeah, that one I would probably consider just a complete fuck you boss.
A lot of the Dark Souls 2 DLCs are actually good. The problem is that they also suffer from a lot of the same base problems that Dark Souls 2 does. Reused bosses, for example. Again, the second DLC, the Flame Tower, was actually really good, especially for its design and everything. Like, it actually understood what level design was, which is shocking. The first one was all right. The third one, again, fuck that leopard boss. Jesus Christ, that is so bad. Yeah, exactly. Best part such is that the leopard's boss room is right next to the entrance to the area, so most people go there on accident. Yep. The third DLC, other big problem is the fact that it has the snow area, and everybody knows the fucking snow area.
Okay, I've got a question.
Oh god.
I've got a question.
What's the question?
Is there anything about Dark Souls 2 that is good?
Yes. There are actually genuinely, like, good aspects. Like, power stancing is a genuinely good fucking aspect.
Yeah.
Honestly, the build variety for Dark Souls 2 is fantastic, but that's also kind of a backhanded compliment because it's fantastic since it's 500 different weapons and armor sets, but only 5 movesets, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So, like, you have tons of choice to make your build look fucking sick. And to use, like, different, like, weapons and things like that to pull off of, like, a look that just looks nice. But then it's only has the same exact moveset as every other short sword and so on and so forth. It's a disaster. But then stuff like the Dark Souls 2 Dragon Covenant, genuinely fucking amazing armor set. I love the Dragon Covenant transformation, Dark Souls 2. The problem is getting in the Dragon Covenant makes no fucking sense whatsoever. It's like they did opposite day on that Covenant. You should have bought the petrified egg from the merchant and then taken it to the Dragon Peak and returned it to the altar. Maybe get invaded by someone else like such Dragon Hunter or whatever instead to try to prevent you from putting it there. But holy shit, like, for whatever reason, you have to go to the Dragon Peak first, deny the dragon, steal the egg, and take it to the merchant. This random-ass merchant out of nowhere. Like, and he's your covenant leader for the Dragon Covenant, not the actual dragon in the game. Which is like, but why? That doesn't make any
weird.
fucking sense whatsoever.
Yeah. I do like that. Dark Souls 3, you just, like, you pray at an altar with a giant dragon in the background, and you turn into a fucking twig. Yeah. As your reward, you get to be a twig.
That's that literal thing. I kind of want to play that video at the end, the 3 dragon transformations.
No, we can't do that, but it is funny. Double the Dark Souls to it. Double it to
I am the dragon of Dark Souls Uno. I am the dragon of the Dark Souls 2. I am the dragon that... Yeah!
Just pure agony. Kill me, please.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Good thing that the bosses are to beat it first try.
Oh my god, this fucking skipping.
Is not an objective design issue. Whether or not it's a good thing that the bosses are harder, that they have multiple phases, and that you're unlikely to beat it first try, is a matter of opinion. There's not a single objective criticism in this list of objective design issues. And that's not...
Yes, there is.
Also,
again, by you not talking about them, also kind of highlights that those might have actual valid things to them.
Also, good job owning that one commenter and using that as the entire fucking basis against objective criticism.
Yeah, I was about to say, way to really just absolutely like focus down on this one comment and just be like, oh yeah, see, this guy made a mistake because he had labeled this stuff as objective, but they're clearly subjective, and it's like, and I'm gonna harp on this one thing, and it's gonna prove me right. Forget everyone else. Don't look at these other comments or other videos that prove me wrong.
You know what that reminds me of, Pagan?
What?
You made a spelling mistake. I win. It's like, yeah, one fucking
mistake.
Yeah, one fucking idiot in your comments not understanding objectivity doesn't mean objectivity isn't a fucking thing, you clown.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You found someone who made a mistake. Good job. Way to fucking completely just denounce the entire thing because one person in your comments got something wrong.
With access to the internet, it is trivially easy to find someone somewhere that is wrong about whatever subject you want. So, if you want to, like, discredit any ideology or opinion or belief of any kind, all you have to do is go find that one fucking idiot and their wrong-ass comment and prop that up as, like, the be-all, end-all of the thing you're trying to mock or disprove. If I wanted to make fun of... Okay, I'm not going to pick a specific religion. Let's just assume any religion. You can find someone who's going to make literally any religion out there look bad and insane. And you can use that as your example to say, hey, this religion is fucking terrible. Look at this.
Yeah. This comment got the date wrong while trying to defend capitalism. +1 for Marxists.
Yeah. It's basically what it is. What it comes off.
That's called the fallacy. A man tripped, so therefore he cannot walk. Sounds like he can't fucking walk if he tripped. Fucking loser.
The number of times that I have... This is going to be an unfortunate little, like, self-dig. But the number of times I have, like, tried to just walk smoothly through my door to this bedroom here. Because this bedroom's door handle is, like, the stiffest, most, like, wishy-washy, did I actually unlatch or didn't I? And the number of times I have grabbed it, turned it, and walked right into the door anyways and been like, ugh, like, is kind of sad, but it's also one of those things of like, God, I just wish this door worked. But then whenever it happens and anybody else turns and calls me out on it, I'm like I only read the idiot's guide to walking into doors. I don't know how to actually open a door.
I wish I could walk. God can't even say. I wish I could walk smoothly through this door. Eat shit.
And again, if it happened every single time, well, I would know to be careful, but it doesn't. So like, I'll get complacent. I'll be complacent again, and I'll go like get a drink or whatever, and I'll walk up to the door and I'll grab the handle and I'll turn it and I'll think it'd have opened and unlatched, but it didn't, and I just go boom right into the door again. I'm just like. Oh. Every single time, it knows. It knows. It waits for me to be complacent, and then it attacks.
I bet this whole video was made just because of this comment, since he seems hyper-focused on it.
Mm-hmm. I'll be surprised if he brings up another comment. If he brings up another one, I'm going to be genuinely surprised, because it does feel like, I got the one, like the one, finally! This is all I needed. I can put this in a video and call it a day, and I'll be right forever.
Yeah, because he's got the perfect comment here that he's cherry-picked to strawman the entire idea of objective criticism.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
This feels like an excuse to not put effort into videos. Like, I 100% agreed with him early on. Yeah, you don't need to complete a game to do a review. But your review should also be accurate to the content that's in the game, objectively.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And now, because of this, it makes me go back to that initial argument and makes me wonder, well, how sincere was he being with this? Where it's like, is he saying this argument because he actually agrees with what he's saying? Or is it literally just, like, I should be able to say that my video is a 100% analysis critique with only playing, like, 50% of the game?
Well, to be fair, I'm pretty sure he does call his videos reviews. Hold on.
Yeah, but remember, we already know that he uses
review
qualifiers in it. Like, again, look, it's good, it's bad, it's hard,
Yeah.
It's like, oh, okay. Again, these are things that you now need to qualify. Those are objective statements.
Yeah, I don't like the title of this video. Baldur's Gate 3 will, in brackets, and should, win Game of the Year. Don't you mean, like, wouldn't it be a better formatting for the title of Baldur's Gate 3 should, and will, win the Game of the Year?
Yeah.
Because...
Also, why? Why should it? Is there a reason why you think it should? Is there perhaps some objective qualifiers that makes it better than the other games you played?
I love too. Asmongold did a video on this recently, where, like, he responded to somebody in his chat. Somebody in his chat said that Baldur's Gate 3 is incredibly overrated. The only reason that it's rated as highly as it is because everything else that has been coming out for the last 10 years has been shit. And then Asmongold's like, then doesn't that prove that it is not overrated? It is in fact better than everything that's come out in the last 10 years by your own admission.
Yeah.
like, geez. Again, it's that weird thing that people just don't understand. It's like, yeah, it is better than all those things. It's not overrated, though.
Yeah.
There's not a single objective criticism in this list of objective design issues. And that's not a surprise, because you can't say anything about quality without using your own judgment.
What? Okay, again, sure, but your judgment can be based off of logic, reality, facts, having actual standards.
Yeah, because the fact that you could be wrong in your judgment kind of proves that.
So you can still be objective and wrong. And I think that's what this person doesn't understand. He seems to be one of these fucking robots that seems to think that objectivity means being 100% correct absolutely at all times about everything ever, when it literally just means without bias.
Yeah.
Yeah. Again, you're laying out the factual statement.
Yeah. And if you... Again, you can be objective and incorrect, where, based on the facts you know, you make a criticism, and you find you miss a piece of information that proves your criticism wrong. Well, your initial coming to that conclusion was still objective if you're going into it with objectivity, if you weren't letting your feelings bias you one way or the other.
Yeah, exactly. Subjectivity can influence your objective.
Well, it's
facts.
not just that. I'm meaning more like actually missing a critical piece of information can influence your objective conclusion. So, just trying to think of an example. I'll make one up. For Fallout 4, let's say, I criticize this game for a lot of things. Let's say there was actually something in the game that properly explained that Father wasn't actually Sean, he's just a manipulative asshole using you the entire time. That would actually explain some of the problems that character has in that game, where, yeah, it makes sense that it comes across as him just using you rather than caring for his parents at all, because he's literally not even your son, he's just making you think it to use you, to manipulate you. That would probably make the story a bit better if that existed. Now, if we pretend it did exist and I missed it, then, well, my criticism of the game initially would still be objective. It would be incorrect because of that missed piece of information.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, you can miss parts of the story, or things that are just tucked away, and you can miss those things, which can then hamper your findings up to that point, basically.
Yeah.
And then you also have the option of, you're completely correct, you have all the information, you can make an objective statement on it, but then your subjective feeling can get in the way and be like, well, this is the outcome of that objective statement, and I don't like it, so therefore it's bad. It's like you have objective reasoning to get to the point, but then your subjectivity can kick in and be like, but this is bad because it makes me do this.
Yeah.
So there's like a number of factors that can go into it. Like, people seem to act like it's all just a binary, like, black and white thing where it's like, oh, well, you know, if you're trying to use objectivity in your video, then it's just going to be this very dry, matter-of-fact stuff that's very simple and nothing else will play a factor to it. No, subjectivity could play a factor into it. You could talk about subjective facts on top of the objectivity, on top of the objective stuff. And there's also a possibility that sometimes your subjective feelings can then color your view of the objective facts.
Yeah.
It happens. We've seen it with other people.
As an example of this, say there's a character that just rubs you the wrong way the first time you met them. They just rub you the wrong way, so you don't ever want to interact with them. You don't ever talk with them in the story. You don't talk about them with other NPCs. You don't do their quest lines. You don't do anything like that. And then you make the statement of, like, I didn't like this character for XYZ reason, right? Well, your reasons could be correct. However, your reasons right there could be correct, but then they could be proven to be wrong because of information that you didn't have access to, because your subjective feeling is you didn't like this character, therefore you didn't want to interact with them, you didn't talk with them, you didn't talk with people about them, you didn't do their quests, so on and so forth.
Mm-hmm. Or, as an example, the Fall of the House of Usher. Yeah. What's her name?
Which one?
The sister of the main guy who
Madeline.
Oh, Madeline.
Yeah, Madeline.
Should we put a spoiler warning?
Yeah, I will say spoiler warning for this. I am going to spoil basically like part of the ending for the show here. Basically, there was like a subjective thing that came into it where what she says in the last episode makes sense for her to say, but because she brings it up, it paints a picture in my mind of her. It gives me a subjective feeling that makes me not like her anymore, or that makes me not like her character. Even though it makes complete sense that she would do that. But the fact that they do that, and the fact that I felt like they put that in the show regardless of what character, painted my opinion of her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, what he's talking about, because we're still under the spoiler thing at the moment. She brings up that women have lost their reproductive rights. Okay? She brings up the Roe v. Wade thing. And again, it's awkward, it's like, what the fuck? But it fits with her character because she is shown throughout the entire series to be a hardcore misandrist.
It does feel like it comes out of nowhere, which is part of the problem.
Yep, it feels like it comes out of nowhere, but it does fit with her character because she is a self-centered, hardcore misandrist. She is a piece of shit.
Yeah, that and her opioid thing where she tries to pin it all on like the corporations and shit, and it's like, oh yeah, it's just like big capitalist American corporations taking advantage of people, and we're no different from, they're no different from us, and that kind of shit. And it's like, you're really like being reductive on the whole epidemic as a whole and what it is.
Yeah. But again, it fits with her character. It just does feel bad.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
What a sandwich.
Can gather in these comments. The problem people are having is that I put "it's bad" in the title, and they took great offense to that.
Yes.
For some reason.
Because it's an objective qualifier, and then if you don't go into detail and actually have evidence for why it's bad, then yeah, people are going to call you out for that.
Yeah. If you titled your video with an objective statement and then the entire video is nothing but subjective opinion, that's a problem.
Yeah. Or getting stuff wrong would be an issue too.
Yeah.
proposing that as an objective reality held to remind me that...
You are, though.
It keeps fucking skipping. I hate this. Why does this happen when we stream?
I'm wondering if maybe it's the time that we're doing it, because it does seem like later in the evening, around like 5 or so, your internet doesn't have this issue, whereas from like 2 to 4, it does.
5 your time. So 6 our time.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe, possibly.
Maybe you're on a network where a lot of people are using it at this time, and so, you know, you're getting throttled.
In the title, and they took great offense to that. For some reason, they're assuming that I'm proposing that as an objective reality.
Which you are. Again,
Oh
it's
my
bad
god.
is a statement of fact.
Yes, I don't know why this is hard for people to understand. When you say it's bad, people think, oh, that means it is of low quality. People tend to think that, I should say. There are a lot of idiots like this guy out here that bad just means I don't like it personally. No, bad means bad. Bad means it is not good. Bad means it is of low quality.
Yep.
Just because I say it's bad doesn't mean it's bad.
Yeah, that's exactly what this is. That's exactly what this dumb motherfucker is saying. It's so annoying.
They are compelled to remind me that that's just my personal opinion, as if I didn't know that.
Because you don't. You think bad isn't an objective qualifier. So you don't know what that is. You do actually think that's your opinion, but it's not. That is a fact statement.
God, that is... that is so annoying. I know that. No, you don't. That's the problem. You're using an objective qualifier and then saying, well, it's just an opinion. No, it's not. That's not what an opinion is, you fucking dumbass. Oh.
What's that meme of someone who keeps doing something to... like, something that's harming them, and then they keep doing it without realizing, but they question, like, why is this happening to me? Am I thinking of the Eric Andre who killed, what's his name? No, that's a bit different. Either way.
I blinked out a little bit there. What
My
did you
brain
say?
keeps going to the inconceivable, like, you keep using that word. I don't think it means what you think it means, sort of thing.
No, not that either.
I know, but that's what my brain keeps going.
I'm just going to go to the easy one. It's just like the Simpsons episode where Bart touches the electrified cupcake and, like, he keeps doing it. Except add in, why does this keep happening to me? And then he touches it again. That's what this video essentially is.
Yeah.
People are upset that I called this game bad. They keep reminding me that it's my opinion, as if I don't already know that. Yeah, you're a fucking idiot. Complete fucking idiot.
Yeah,
Oh, you're thinking of the bicycle and stick meme.
Yes!
Yeah.
That's probably the closest, yeah.
Yeah.
That only seems to happen when I'm praise a game. It doesn't seem to get this same reaction.
Yeah, that's weird, isn't it?
Yeah, very weird, isn't it?
Yeah, it's almost like people focus on that sort of thing more. It's almost like when you criticize something, there are people who take it personally.
It's also because we live in a toxic positivity world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a huge problem.
You can be...
People think as long as you're positive about something, then it's fine. You could say whatever you want. But if you're negative, oh, well, we're gonna fucking tear you apart for that. How dare you be negative? That's bad.
You can be insanely positive about something that doesn't deserve it. You can use all sorts of lies and misinformation and twisting of the facts and fucking every trick in the book to be positive about something, and you'll be fucking praised for it. And the people who criticize you, rightfully so, will get fucking torn apart for it. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
weird how that works. I do agree with him that it doesn't go the other way. Like the positive stuff, yeah, saying something's good. But I think he's going for a different direction here for it than what we would, because my main issue is, like, again, the whole toxic positivity thing that you guys mentioned. It's just the fact that for some reason there's this mindset on the internet where if you're negative about something, that automatically means, like, you're bad or something to that effect. It's really fucking weird. When it's just, no, I'm being honest about something. That's not bad. That doesn't make me a miserable, bitter person. I'm criticizing something for its failings.
Yeah. I wonder if this guy realized it. Well, no, he obviously doesn't. He wouldn't be saying this if he did realize it. He doesn't seem to realize that his exact argumentation that he's making in this video that he's advocating for is part of what leads to this thing that he's about to complain about, where, oh, people criticize my videos where I'm negative about stuff, and I just don't understand why. It's like, maybe pushing this whole fucking, oh, it's all just a subjective opinion, it doesn't matter, so why are we doing it anyway? Probably not the best stance to take when you're having an issue with people criticizing you for criticizing something else. You fucking idiot. Because then you could just counter it with, well, I'm just stating the facts. I'm trying to give you the most accurate review that I possibly can. You know, it's like I don't want to lie, but you're literally taking your ability to say that away by lying and being an idiot and saying, well, it's all just subjective. It's all subjective. See, guys, I agree with you guys, so stop attacking me, please. I agree with you guys. It is subjective, so stop attacking me.
Yeah. God, we are almost done with this shit. Then we're going to check out one of his other reviews quickly to see if he has anything objective in that. Because the moment he says anything objective about the quality, he's fucked.
Yeah.
We'll give it a 3. I think we'll give it a 3 strike thing.
Okay,
right?
yeah.
Just to see if, we hit it anywhere. Because,
the point where we start won't be the first
spot.
jump either, because we're not listening to the whole intro segment. We'll skip like 2 or 3 minutes in.
Yeah.
And in other people's Lords of the Fallen reviews, I've seen It's Amazing on the title. Do you also go to their videos and harp on about how that's just their opinion?
Maybe. It depends. If they're actually being factual, probably not. If they're not being factual and making up bullshit, they probably are getting attacked in the comments for bringing up bullshit.
Yeah. It's the same reason. It's the same thing that people do for The Rise of Skywalker, shit like that. It's like, yeah, if you say it's good and then you back up things with it, I don't know how. I'm just trying to think of a hypothetical here. But the people that say it's good are also going to get jumped in their own comment section because they'll be like, okay, no, that's just bullshit. That doesn't happen. Like, now you're just making shit up. No, you're doing the writing for the writer, so on and so forth.
God, this is so stupid, because you realize that there are different groups of people on the internet, right? Not everyone is in the same clique. Hell, the people that probably agree with your video are the exact type of people who would go onto that video and bitch and moan about it. You fucking idiot, because you're sitting here saying that it's a bad game and then being like, well, guys, it's a bad game. Look at all this stuff that makes it bad. And then if someone in your comment, in your viewer base, sees that video, agrees with it, leaves a comment saying how well you did, and yeah, you're right, this game is bad, it's shit. They're probably the exact same type of people that would go into one of those videos and be like, no, you're wrong. See, look at this guy's video. He knows what he's talking about. See, look at this. You're wrong. You're stupid. This is so dumb. Also, yeah, the people who probably go in there who agree, oh, yeah, it is good. I like it. Yeah, you know what? You could possibly chalk that up to toxic positivity again. Well, they're talking about it positively. It doesn't matter if what he's saying is wrong. He's being positive, so therefore it's a good video. The exact thing that you're enabling. You're literally enabling that, and you're gonna bitch about it, which is hilarious. You're bitching about something that you're literally enabling.
Do you see other people attacking other people's videos about this thing being the best? Yes, I do. Oh.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. There are definitely negative comments on incorrect positive videos about things, but they're not often the majority. I believe there's negative comments on Many a True Nerd's Fallout 3 video talking about, you know, you're wrong, you're dumb, blah blah blah. Like, everyone gets that kind of stuff. It's just because of the whole toxic positivity thing, you're less likely to see criticism against positive videos as opposed to negative videos. Because negativity is, I don't want to say strictly, but almost strictly seen as bad on the internet, online. It's a really annoying thing. Because negativity, being critical of things, wanting them to be better, has fucking value. People don't seem to realize that.
Yeah. Also, none of this shit would matter if people would stop this dumb crap with the whole, oh, it's all subjective opinion. None of these comment wars and shit would mean anything if the only thing that mattered was the facts and whether or not you can provide evidence. You know, this whole thing would not matter, but you're literally saying, no, it should matter because it's all subjective and that should be just as good.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's a problem. That's part of why this stuff happens. It's just so ridiculous to me that someone like this can complain that these things exist when he's literally sitting here being like, well, yeah, but it's all subjective, guys. It's all subjective. That's all that matters. So there is no right or wrong. And it's like, oh, well, then you're literally making it impossible for anyone to get to the root of anything. Ugh, I hate it. I hate it.
It's especially annoying because a lot of the point that I make my videos, and I'm sure other people make their videos too, are because we want to see media get better. We want to see improvements. I don't want to see Bethesda collapse into dust and fail and go out of business. I want to see them improve their games and make better games. Ultimately. More than anything else. I want Star Wars to be good. I want Star Trek to be good. I want fucking everything to be good. I'm critical of the things that aren't because I want to see the improvements. Like, yeah, I'm not going to change the world alone. No one can. Well, I suppose if you have access to the nuclear launch codes, you can. A single person can. Point is, by being one of the voices out there saying that there's a problem, it, I believe, increases the possibility of getting something better later on.
Yeah.
And
again, just imagine, in the end, if we get all these Bethesda to actually be championing good games instead.
That's the most frustrating thing about dealing with Bethesda well, I guess any fanboys, where they just mindlessly praise something. It's like, no, you fucking idiot. I want better games for you too.
Yeah. Again, I'm not here to destroy your precious game and your company. I'm here because I want those games to be better. Because guess what? When they're better for you, when they're better for me, they're also better for you. A rising tide raises all ships.
You know what one of the problems is, though?
What's that?
What's better for us and like what we consider better, a lot of people dislike because they actually have to think. They have to turn their brains on for more than a second. And they don't want that. They genuinely just want mindless button mashing the game.
Oh my God.
And like, I love Fallout, and it's like that's what it is. You can't just say, well, go play this game. That's just that. And they're like, well, no, because I like Fallout, and I like the way Fallout is now. I like that it's mindless button mashing, and it should stay that way. And it's just like, oh my God. So when you say stuff like, you know, we want to make it better for you, they don't see it that way. They just see it as, no, you want to make it dumb and complicated and pretentious, and I won't be able to enjoy it after that. I like it being dumbed down and stupid and easy to play and just button mashing. I don't like a lot of talking in my games. I just want to shoot dumb stuff. That's the problem. So they don't see it that way that we do, of like, oh, well, we're just giving you something better. They don't see it that way. They see it as like getting something worse.
8-month membership message from Alex Hoffman. Thank you. It's been a while. Hello, everybody. What'd I miss?
Wait a bit. I'll be right back.
Sure.
A really bad video.
Really bad video. I don't know. I don't remember the last time I saw you in chat, but I'm a VTuber now. Ah.
Yeah.
Alright, let's continue. We're almost done. I'm gonna rewind it just a bit because I know it's gonna fucking skip when I press play again.
You also go to videos and harp on about how that's just their opinion. Here's the thing. I'm not going to put "in my opinion" after every subjective statement that I say in a video. I'm simply not. It's ridiculous. You should know that when I say something subjective, I know that it's subjective.
The problem is that you clearly don't, because you put "it's bad" in your title.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. That kind of kills your entire argument that, no, maybe you should. Because maybe then, when you put the "in my opinion" up, people can tell that you have no idea what's subjective and what's objective.
VTuber sponsorship tier 1. You mean memberships? I have been meaning to rework memberships. Problem is, you can't have... Like, each tier has to have a unique benefit that the lower tier doesn't. The tier below doesn't. And I don't know what to put there because... I don't like the idea of locking certain types of content off from people. Like, oh, you're a $1 member and you're a $5 member, so you don't get access to the, like, secret chat that no one talks in, that I sometimes post, like, clips and stuff from videos I'm working, like, you know?
Yeah.
And because my content tends to be more long form, I don't really do short videos. There's nothing that I can really be like, okay, members will get access to this 3 days early or a week early or whatever. Oh, Jesus Christ. Alex Hoffman gifted 50 Creetosis memberships. Oh my god. Thank you. I very much appreciate it. Damn.
It's gonna be a bit of scrolling.
It's much appreciated. Thank you. God, I don't even know. I am not a math person. What is 50 times 5?
Really?
250. Holy shit.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. That's 50 times 5.
Dude, and oh my god. He just did another 50 for 250.
Yeah.
Look, when I get caught off guard, my mind, like, it stalls, okay?
Yeah. That's free. That's $3.52 in Canada bucks. There you go, Calvin.
No, you got it wrong, because this is wait, hold on. Does he? Oh god. I don't even know if he uses USD or not. I think he uses USD. That, like, the joke is, like...
I'm back.
Welcome back. My
sorry
brain is
about that.
shorting out right now.
Bombs.
What I missed?
2 membership bombs.
Massive membership bombs.
Oh.
50 gifted memberships twice.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yep.
I appreciate it very much. Thank you, Alex. $10 from Dark World XL. Thank you. The best games are simple on the surface, but complex when you dig. Best example is New Vegas. You can point and shoot, but dig a little, and you have making your own ammo, weapon mods, special weapons, etc. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
$2 for...
with $2.
Yep.
Yeah, it's been a long time.
Yeah. Thank you. Anyways, let's get back to the video.
And we're almost there.
Yeah.
Subjective. I know that it's subjective. I don't have to say in my opinion to avoid making you offended, and you don't need to remind me. People
Well,
do
no, they're not reminding you. They're telling you you're a fucking idiot for saying that your opinion is objective, which you kind of are when you're saying, hey, I don't like this game, therefore bad.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Bad is... Good and bad are not... Typically not opinion. Like, okay, yeah, this tastes good, this tastes bad. For, like, food. Yeah, okay, fine, whatever. We're talking about the actual quality of content in video games.
God, and it's so simple. If you want to keep this mindset that everything is subjective, just change the way you do your fucking titles so that you're not using objective wording. If you don't believe in objectivity, don't use objective wording then. It's as simple as that. Just say my thoughts, how I like
I can already tell you what the problem is. This fucking plank of wood doesn't understand that good and bad are not subjective words. He thinks they are subjective. But again, I'm going to use the example. It leads to the whole problem of I don't like racing games, therefore all racing games are bad as a result. Which is not fair to the entire genre of racing games, nor the fans of racing games for me to say something like that. You know?
Yeah, the one fan that exists.
God, yeah. God, this shit is just so annoying. These people are just so annoying. You're basically saying, don't watch my videos. I have nothing to offer you. That's literally all you're saying when you do shit like this. When you say, oh, it's all subjective. Everything I say is subjective. Well, then why the fuck should I care?
Yeah.
Well, remember his accidental early omission was that objective reviews could only talk about facts. And then it's like, okay, then by logic, all your videos are filled with misinformation and lies. Like, what a great way to promote your fucking videos, idiot.
Yeah, saying that on top of your name, really doesn't help. You're really painting a picture here that's really hard to not look past when there's so many different coincidences just piling on top of each other.
$2 from Alex Hoffman. Thank you. Last one. Well, thank you. It's very much appreciated. Reminds me of Schrodinger's donkey. Yeah. Almost.
Yeah.
Rewinding just a bit again.
Mind me. People do not talk. The fact that it's an opinion is implied.
And it skipped anyways.
If I say...
The fact that it's not necessarily. Like, especially when you're saying something is bad. Like, okay, I don't know what this guy's reviews are like, but when I'm saying in one of my videos, hey, this thing is bad for this reason, that should be pretty clear that it's not an opinion. I'm explaining why something does not work factually. Also, this kind of reeks of... I don't remember much of the video, but Joseph Anderson's subjectivity is implied.
Yeah. Or his, Someone's not a horror game because it didn't scare me.
Yeah.
That fucking nonsense, where it's like, that's so out of reality, like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Some people in chat are mentioning they're still white. You do have to enable receiving gifting memberships. I'm not sure how to do that.
Yeah.
Freaking massive over here. I mean, yeah, this guy is a fucking massive. Jesus.
Offended. You don't need to remind me. People do not talk that way. The fact that...
They do, though.
Yeah.
They literally do. Like, I don't know who the fuck you've talking to in your life, but when I'm talking with Sechin Pagan or with anyone and we're talking about, like, hey, there's this recent movie, it's really bad, this and that happened, these and those happen, it sucks so much, it's so stupid that these characters were doing these things. It's like, yeah, fucking, what was, Jurassic World Dominion, when, Pagan fucking forced me to watch that shit. I'm just trying to think of one of the examples. Jeff Goldblum gives, Alan Grant his, like, key card to get into a restricted area. And then later in the film, the guys running the place find out, hey, someone got into this restricted area. How did that happen? Do they do a scan to see whose keycard accessed this restricted area like any fucking competent group would? No, because such a thing doesn't exist for some reason. They hand out passes to their employees to get into restricted areas and don't keep track of who fucking comes and goes. So if they're fucking sabotaged, which this guy is responsible for the first Jurassic Park movie, Nedry turning on them. Because corporate espionage, that's it. He wanted to steal the secrets of Jurassic Park to make his own. And then he doesn't take precautions against that fucking 5 movies later. Like, yeah, that's not the point, that's not why they're doing it in that movie, but that's the reason you fucking do it! Or sabotage from, like, activists or whatever. Yeah. But no, they don't do that. They have to watch a video of Jeff Goldblum handing the card to Alan Grant to figure out that it was him, rather than, oh, the log says it was Goldblum.
Yep. I'm
so
telling you
dumb.
right now, chat, if you've ever been in a building that requires you to have a ID card or a system to put up against a scanner, it is logging your movements where you go in that building, and it is logging that this person opened that door.
Yeah, this isn't like weird, far off in the future, warp drive fucking scientific, highly advanced technology. This is something we have here and now today. It's something we've probably had for fucking 30 years.
I'm gonna tell you right now, this stuff we had in the 90s.
Oh my god, I was just reminded that 30 years ago was the 90s, not the 70s. Fuck!
Yeah. Which is funny because it takes place in Jurassic World, where there is, like, crazy sci-fi bullshit technology. But no, not for this. We can't possibly do it for security doors, which have existed for over 30 years. No, we can't do that. Also, it's so stupid because there's no reason to not have a scene where they do that, because they look him up on the camera anyway. So they figure out that it's him. It's like, well, why didn't you just have it make sense and have it so that when they logged in, it said, oh, well, it says it was Jeff Goldblum. Or his character, whatever. I don't
Ian
remember
Malcolm.
Ian Malcolm.
I had trouble remembering his name too, so I just said Goldblum.
Yeah, it says here it was Ian. It's like, so why you could have just done that? There's no reason you couldn't, because later, like, not just literally a few minutes later, they're looking it up on the camera and being like, oh yeah, he gave him the card. So it's like, well, why didn't you just have it so that they logged it then? It would have just done the exact same thing while also not making them look stupid. Yes, don't, no,
exactly.
Yes,
the cat
yes.
agrees.
No, he's saying no, and I'm saying yes. No, I love that movie. Don't criticize it.
But yeah, it's an example of, like, when you rant about something like that in conversation to a normal person. Yes, it's fucking objective. It's fucking obnoxious and terrible and definitely biases me against the movie. But guess what? Regardless of my bias, it's fucking true.
Yep. Oh god, my stream quality just went poo-poo.
Yeah, it's saying there's an issue on my end too, on the YouTube end, but not the Streamlabs end. YouTube is not receiving enough video to maintain smooth streaming. As such, viewers will
dropped to 360.
The cat would like to disagree. Oh, Long Johnson.
Oh, Ron Johnson.
The cat has been denied.
Me. People do not talk that way.
Yes, they do.
The fact that it's an opinion is implied. If I say, the enemy placement in Lords of the Fallen is awful, you should know that that's just an opinion, whether or not I put the "in my opinion" tag. Now,
So that's
Well,
completely
no.
worthless. If
Yeah, that is worthless.
Awful is a statement of fact.
Yes.
Again. So yeah, and again, enemy placement can be proven. Like,
Yeah, the
what if there's
context matters.
what if, as a wild example that totally didn't happen in the game, what if there's an area that's really dark and you have to run down a hallway and enemies will pop out of the hallway like as ghostly phantoms with giant greatswords and will swipe at you, and while you're at the end of this hallway you're also being chased by a phantom invader. This invader, let's say they're red, so you can see them coming at you behind you, so you're like, I want to get away from that. I don't want to deal with that. I want to get to the next checkpoint. And you run, and at the end of the hallway, there's just these two giant double doors that are held by enemies that are just there to be in the way and to be annoying. They're there only to stop you. For no other reason. That's a fucking problem. And if you also didn't get it because I kind of gave away there's a Phantom Invader, that's Dark Souls 2.
Well, hell, we could just do a simple one. What if you load into a level and you have to kill all the enemies to progress? You have to kill every single one of them in order to unlock the doors to progress. Now, what if one of those enemies spawns in the sky and you can't reach them?
Or just outside the map in general. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Even better, as Cree got as an example, what if one of those enemies decides, for whatever reason, to get on a train and leave the fucking area you're in? And you're not allowed to leave the area, and you just see his little red fucking dot on the other side of the fucking map just dilly-dallying around, and you can't complete the mission. Thanks,
Wait.
Saints Row.
Oh, that was in...
That was in Saints Row when you were defending the Saints hideout, and one of the enemies, like, got in a truck or a bus or something and then drove away.
Which Saints Row?
It was just gone. I think it was Saints Row 2.
Okay.
Or was it Saints Row 1?
Oh.
I also had a similar problem with Saints Row 2022, though, because that one mission where your gang hits an armored vehicle, the cops can spawn on the overpass and get stuck up there. And you have to kill them to progress, and you can't get up there without leaving the mission area.
Yep. That's another good one. Yep.
Thank you for reminding me of that, because that's like the perfect example of, like, yeah, saying that's awful enemy placement can be fucking objective. That's a criticism that can be objective. Holy shit.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Hey, Ratatosker, it seems like your video is fucking shit.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, he was right about one thing, though. You explaining that was not entertaining at all because it was objective.
Wow.
I'm sorry, but you are forever mid.
Oh no.
Sorry, I need to explain it properly in the proper objective way. There were enemies on an overpass. I could not reach them, so it was difficult to complete this mission. This is objectively bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This guy's a fucking clown. I do not like this person.
I'm starting to think our original title would have been totally fine. We were trying to be nice, but now I'm thinking it would have been fine. We could have just shit all over this dude.
No, you guys use the Chill's voice. He is only objective. Number 15. The enemies were trapped on the overpass. I could not reach them. This game is awful.
I originally wanted to title the stream "You Fucking Thought," and Cree was like, "I don't know, like this guy doesn't seem all that bad. I don't want to say something like that in the title, and he's not a shithead." And now we're just like, "Oh man, we should use that fucking title." Yeah, we should have used that title. You fucking thought. Wah.
Post it.
Just a
post
red
it, Pagan. Post it. Fucking post it.
I don't have it.
Yes, you do. It's in our group chat. Just scroll up to the cat.
Eh.
Or not our group chat. Our direct.
Yeah, I got it.
Wah.
I was tempted to grab it earlier during stream, and I didn't. I resisted the urge.
There you go.
But now I can't. Why is it? There we go. All right.
It doesn't mean that I'm proposing what I think reality, and anybody that enjoyed the enemy placement in Lords of the Fallen.
Again, it does by the statement of it's awful. Awful is an objective qualifier.
I got a skip there at the worst time. What was the word he said it doesn't imply?
Saying awful doesn't imply. It's like it does though.
Oh yeah, it does.
That is an objective qualifier. You are making a statement of fact.
What I think is an objective vision of reality, and anybody that enjoyed the enemy placement in Lords of the Fallen is stupid and wrong. I'm not saying that, and you should.
Again, now you're conflating the two. No. The objective statement can be that the enemy placement is awful. That can be true. Again, provide your evidence for it. Somebody enjoying that placement is their subjective feelings on it and has no bearing on the objective statement that the enemy placement is awful.
It's also just more of that disingenuous bullshit to make objective criticism look bad. I'm not saying that anyone who likes it is stupid and wrong. Well, when you say something is objective, you're not saying people who like it are stupid and wrong, you fucking idiot.
Yeah, that's not how it works. You can enjoy something that's bad and not be stupid for it. I like Baki the Grappler, okay? that is objectively a bad show, okay? It is not... I don't even know how to explain it. It is not coherent, okay? But I like it because it's stupid, all right? It doesn't make me an idiot for liking it.
Yep. Same reason for me and Ride to Hell Retribution. That is objectively dog shit. But I like it because it is fucking funny how dumb the character is.
Yeah.
Even if I don't assure you of that every 5 seconds. And that's the end of this video. In my opinion, you should unsubscribe and unclick the bell notification. If you have an opinion...
Wow, what a fucking jackass.
Yeah, this guy's a fucking idiot. Alright, should we look at one of his reviews now to see if we can find any statement, literally just one statement that is objective is a fucking failure.
Yep.
And I kind of don't want to do this one, but it's probably going to be the best one to do. He has a Starfield video. We are not watching the whole thing. We are doing 3 skips to see if we can find any statement that is objective.
Yep.
He doesn't like Starfield. We don't like Starfield. Should be easy to fucking make him lose on this.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, exactly.
Are you guys ready?
Yep.
Yep.
Alright. So, this first skip isn't a skip because he's likely got a preamble here. So we're going to go about 2 minutes in, and this will be our starting point, and we have 3 skips after this. Alright?
Yeah.
In one of those patches, or as a part of one of the major DLCs. Problem 1 with Starfield is the one with Starfield playthrough.
Of course it's skipping for me. It looks like I skipped pretty much to the end of his preamble, too.
Yeah. But he's already fucked it here.
Oh, hold on, let me play it again then.
1 with Starfield is the build and weapon variety for anything other than a ballistics playthrough. The weapon variety for laser weapons suck. The weapon variety for particle weapons also sucks. And the melee weapons have it worse than anybody. Now
I think I only found like 2 melee weapons in the entire game.
You did. Because as it turns out, there almost are no melee weapons, and same with laser weapons and particle weapons and everything.
Oh.
And he already fucked it. Because again,
that is still technically subjective. There's not technically it's not inherently bad that the game only has 2 melee weapons. It's just
But his point is that is no build variety for anything but ballistic weapons. Therefore, meaning that this is the objective statement: there is no build variety. The reason why there's like no melee weapons, there is no laser weapons, so you're not doing a melee build.
He would
still
True.
probably consider that subjective, though.
But it doesn't matter because it's still it comes down to the thing of like you can subjectively think, oh well, that's not important, but it doesn't change the fact that the problem
Fair.
exists.
I want to find a more solid example, though.
Yeah, I do too.
I do too, but it's just funny that the very first one we hit was actually fun.
Creetosis, why does this guy sound like an AI? I mean, his voice. See, the problem with that statement is AI implies intelligence, and there's clearly none here. Alright, let's do our first skip. Let's say 418. Looks like there's something happening here.
Respond to some of the rebuttals I got to my last video discussing this issue.
He likes responding to people who comment on his video. Alright, he's talking about an issue, though, so let's see what this issue is.
About House Varun. It'll add more mid, low, and high tier laser weapons. Maybe even some
still talking about weapons.
Jesus. You know, I wouldn't be surprised if that's all he cares about. He probably doesn't even think the story has any issues.
Weapon pistols, one particle weapon shotgun.
Oh my god, how much of this video is talking about weapon variety?
Probably all of it. It's probably just talking about weapon and ship variety.
So
Maybe.
Starfield's first big problem is weapon variety, and that's all my problems with Starfield. Oh no.
Constantly fighting would engage you in melee combat. Human enemy.
Oh my fucking god, we are halfway into the video.
Yep.
Jesus, this is
And
pathetic.
again, he's making objective statements here about how many there are, what they do, everything.
And keep in mind, this is a Starfield review, and 7 minutes in, he's done his intro and he's still talking about weapon variety from the sounds of it.
Yeah, this is really... How are you going to make a review of Starfield,
There's
you know,
so much
say it's
more...
negative, and all you talk about is the fucking weapons?
I barely mentioned combat in my own video that's looking to be about 2 hours long.
Yeah, this is... Ooh. I'm starting to see a pattern here. I don't think this guy considers story like an element that could be criticized.
Possibly.
Maybe.
Fight. Crafting associated with the melee weapons.
Oh my fucking god.
Relatively better. Why don't we have two-handed melee weapons?
Oh my fucking
Why don't we
god!
have high technology
Oh
shields to go with
my god. I think the whole video is just weapons. That's all
And
this
lets
dude
me
cares about.
Take on quests to engage in piracy. But it doesn't give me a fleshed-out companion to enjoy that with. And this next thing, this...
Again, that's a statement of fact right there. Congratulations.
Yeah.
Yeah, because if a game is going to have companions, it should have companions that fill out, like, most playstyles, I would say. Like, doesn't New Vegas only have one companion that's, like, neutral or positive towards the Legion?
Raul?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's just Raul. I can't think of
Yeah.
any others that are like positive towards it.
And I
Or
would
even-
argue that you maybe should.
Yeah.
Fallout 3 has positive, neutral, and evil companions, and two companions that don't have any karma requirements. I wouldn't say they necessarily fill every role, but at least there's one for each a general karma rating.
Yeah.
But both games would be improved if they had, like... Let's just pretend Fallout 3 was good for just a minute, and there's more options of what you have. You should be able to get a pro-Enclave companion, for example. You know?
Yeah. I guess Lily would be neutral to the Legion as well.
Well, I think
Indifferent?
most of the companions, other than Boone, are neutral to the Legion. Where if
No.
you side with them, your companions won't leave. Only Boone does that.
Okay.
Well, Arcade doesn't like them. He'll actually say, what a joke and like everything like that. So
He will criticize them. I don't think he'll leave your party if you join them, but
He will if you sell him into
criticize
slavery.
Well, yeah, if you sell him into slavery. But the fact you can get that far, it's like you've already joined them enough to be doing missions for them, enough to sell him into slavery with them. It's like, yeah, no, I don't think he's gonna fucking leave unless you do that at that point.
Arcade does
Rose
leave? Okay.
is negative against them as well. So Rose of Sharon Cassidy.
I know she doesn't like them, but does she leave if you join them? I don't remember her ever leaving.
Does that have to be the qualifier for being negative against the Legion?
My main point is you should have at least one, preferably 2 or 3 companions that are outright pro-Legion or outright pro-House.
That's what I'm saying, because it's like there's a lot that are neutral, so it's kind of like and I feel like there should be more, like if you're going to do a Legion run, you should have at least one companion that's pro-Legion, so that you'll have somebody.
Yeah.
Kind of like how in Starfield, if you want to be a pirate, you should have someone that's also a pirate or pro-piracy as a companion.
And even of those companions as well, like, do the gamut sort of thing, where one of them is pro-piracy for this reason. Oh, it means freedom, and independence from everything. No one can tell you what to do. You are the master of your own destiny, but also, you have to know how to take care of yourself. And then have someone that's the other side. It's about, like, attacking those you don't like, and we want to bring down the thing. You know what I mean? Again, both of them are pro-piracy, but one of them is for self-actualization, freedom, and independence, and the other is specifically as vengeance and striking down of enemies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my god, is this actually all he's going to talk about, though, is, like, mostly weapons and then companions?
Well, again, we were, 10 minutes in, and he was talking about why aren't there two-handed melee weapons? I was like, oh god.
Yeah.
Mechanical, you are currently green because Alex Hoffman dropped 2 dirty bombs.
If that's what you want to call it. He dropped 2 sub-bombs.
Yep.
Oh my god.
Oh no.
And in Starfield, that's gone. It's...
Okay, what's gone?
I want to
what's
hear
gone?
this, yeah.
Hold on. I'm gonna guess it's a sense of exploration.
real one that bothers me. One of the biggest appeals I have with Bethesda's previous RPGs is that I enjoy...
The game you're showing on screen is not an RPG.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's
the
exploring.
act of walking around and seeing things that catch your interest and walking over to those things. Like in Skyrim, seeing the...
I'll give it to him that there's potentially interesting looking things to find in Skyrim if, like, you don't know how bad that game is. Seeing something on the horizon being like, yeah, I want to explore that thing, sure, okay, fine.
And to its credit, there is actually, like, something to explore. Not much, but it's like, oh, you can at least go inside this dungeon and kill some, like, skeletons and then leave.
Things are at least placed there for a reason. I could give Skyrim that much.
Yeah. Whereas with Starfield, it's like, oh, there's something off in the distance, and it's literally just like an old silo you can't interact with. So you have to walk all the way back to your ship because there was literally nothing.
Yeah, it's just a prop in the landscape. Or, I mentioned this on stream, I went exploring to a few planets, and I found a tower. There's nobody in it. There's a couple things to loot, but it was like the only thing in sight that looked remotely like something to explore. So I did. And it was a place.
Yeah.
Sucked.
Carved into the mountainsides, environments, and letting the atmosphere wash over me.
Okay, calm down.
And much of the enjoyment from this kind of activity comes from the actual walking, from exploring, from physically moving from place to place. And in Starfield, that's gone. It's basically non-existent. Exploration in Starfield is done through menu navigation.
That sounds like a pretty fucking objective thing to me.
Yeah, that's like the most objective thing I've heard so far here. Yeah, that is a big problem.
Not even based off implication of what's being said. No, that's just straight up, like, navigation is done through the menu. Yeah, congratulations, there's an objective statement.
Yeah.
Yep.
So get fucked.
I find it funny that somebody who we have such low respect for right now is saying this when we have either covered or at least seen videos or comments of people absolutely losing their shit about people criticizing this exact thing. How dare you? There's nothing wrong with how can you expect to fly to planets physically? That's ridiculous. That's a ridiculous expectation. How dare you? How dare you expect to be able to walk from one grid to the other to actually explore something? No, that's ridiculous.
Yep.
Yeah, the video we covered last time was fucking insane.
Yeah, now you have a guy who literally believes everything is subjective. There is no objective critique. Complaining about the exact thing. It's like that one thing we've talked about where it's like, if you put a group of Bethesda fans into, if you just took a group of Bethesda fans, put them in a room and said, talk about Fallout, watch them tear each other apart because they will have different critiques or like different aspects where they think the game is good, and whereas the other ones who also think the game is good will say like, well, no, that's one of the things that makes it great and shit, like, whereas the other one's like, well, there is this one thing, but I think we can all agree that it's like, yeah, that's a problem, but no one cares. It's not a problem that's a problem. And then they'll be like, what? No, that's one of the things that I love about the game. That's what makes it great.
We don't talk about this on stream, but this is...
Yeah, it should be, you put them into an arena to fight one another.
Yeah. That would be so funny, though. I can't tell you how badly I'd love to just take some of the people we've covered on stream where we specifically know their opinions and take one who has, like, one that contradicts with this other one, even though they're both, like, diehard fans, and just put them in the same call together and just, like, bring up a topic like about Bethesda or like one of these like games and because we know how one of them is going to react.
Dude.
And as soon as he starts going into it and talking about it, I just want to see the reaction of the other dude, just to see him be like, what? No!
Dude,
and just back off and let them tear each other apart.
We can make our own new version of fucking Bloodsport streams just on that alone.
Oh yeah, totally. Just bringing in Bethesda fans to talk to each other and just watch them tear each other apart over what makes the game actually good and what is bad, because they would lose their minds.
Those points. And I just don't agree with that criticism, because why would you want to explore the whole planet if there were invisible walls about exploring in this way?
Oh.
I saw a lot of people getting upset that you couldn't actually go across the whole planet. That there were invisible walls at certain points, and you couldn't go any further past those points. And I just don't agree with that criticism, because why would you want to explore the whole planet if the whole planet is like this?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh my god! Oh my god!
Yeah, it's a problem. It's really bad. Why would you want to explore the whole planet when there's nothing there?
Okay, he's earned a couple points back with that, because when I first heard that clip, I was like, why would you want to explore the whole planet? I need to hear more of this. And we get the full context, and it was fucking good.
Yeah, that was great. Oh, what a burn. Jesus, that is so good. I've heard people complaining that you can't explore the whole planet. Well, I think that's a dumb argument, because why would you want to explore a whole planet when it's nothing but this?
Okay,
oh my god.
Ratatosker, you have earned a couple points back. Your other video is still complete fucking dog shit, though, but you...
Oh my god, he's living up to his name. This is exactly what he does. This is exactly what Ratatosker does. Okay, so He pissed us off with his previous video. You know, like, oh yeah, this is what I think from this group. You know, I agree with this group and blah 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 blah. And then here he comes over here being two-faced and being like, oh okay, yeah, those Starfield guys. Oh yeah, listen to all this shit I have to say about them. And then here we are being like, oh yeah, you know what? You're right. It's exactly what Ratatosker does, and now he's going to come back and forth. We're never going to get fed up with him because he's going to be just enough in between where we're like, oh, he's just the messenger.
Mercenaries in the area and you go up the tower and it gives you a little bit of information on the planet's resources, I don't care. No. So I completely don't understand people that were upset that you couldn't explore the whole planet, because that wasn't the problem. The problem was that there wasn't anything on those planets that were worth exploring.
Wow.
Yeah. It's almost like that's a
statements.
That is an objective critique. Like, there is no subjective, like, there's no subjectivity to that, because it is just straight up. This is a game focused on exploration that has nothing to explore.
Yeah.
That is an objective critique, and you just backed it up with evidence. So yeah, you fucked yourself. You completely contradicted your previous video.
I will say, it is still an issue that you can't explore entire planets, but the caveat would be, yeah, there would have to be interesting stuff there to actually find. What we have here in game and these little squares to generate, that's dog shit, and that shouldn't be like that, but we should still have full planets to explore regardless. It is a space exploration game, and there is no space and there are no planets. It's insanity.
Like, at least if there was a little bit of something to explore, you could at least give it the thing of, like, kind of what he was going into, where we thought he was going. Where it's like, well, why would you want to explore the whole planet? You know, it's like, there's plenty in these areas where you can. You know, there's plenty of stuff here. There's enough to keep you entertained. Who cares? But it doesn't even have that.
Yeah.
It doesn't even have that. It has nothing. You can't walk freely around the planet. You can't fly to different planets in your ship. And once you get to those planets, there's nothing there.
Yeah.
I guess we've done our duty.
Yep.
Yep.
He did his first video. We did that video. And yeah.
I do like that all the stuff that is being criticized about Starfield is all stuff that we called long before it ever came out. The moment they announced, like, thousands of planets or whatever,
Well, I mean, that one isn't really a psychic prediction, because that one is just fucking obvious.
Yeah, it is pretty obvious.
Planets, you can't. Unless you have a team of 1 million people handcrafting each and every planet, you can't. It's not possible.
Yeah.
No.
And not to mention, your game would be fucking, like, 10 terabytes if you did.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
God, just we got so much stuff right, though. It just reminds me of that clip. The fucking man. I hope someone picks up that phone because I fucking called it.
But yeah, chat. I mean, by the way, happy 25th Half-Life anniversary.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. And did you see? Unlike other companies that just will put up a banner, Valve made a special website for it that's interactable, and also made a bunch of new content for the original Half-Life, and also put uplink into it, like, directly into the original Half-Life for free. And oh my god, like, how do you showcase it? You fucking you just show off the game, like, and highlight the game.
Yeah, they even did a documentary that they released on YouTube.
Yeah, a massive documentary for it. And, even better, is the fact that it's free. For a limited time, mind you, but it's free.
Yeah.
So go play it. And they also gave you a ton of options, and they deranked Half-Life Source. Thank God. So if you type in Half-Life Source is not the one that'll come up first. It's the original Half-Life will come up first.
What's the
And
big difference
anybody that's
there?
ever played Half-Life Source and Half-Life 1 is very grateful for that fact.
So I've only played Half-Life Source.
It's so bad in comparison to the original.
Really?
Yes. It's not good.
I didn't know, because when I streamed it a couple years ago, that was Half-Life Source.
Yeah, it is no bueno. Source is buggy as fuck. Oh,
I think
and
I've only seen Half-Life Source, so I don't know
not to
anything
mention,
about like what the difference would be.
they also fixed the physics on the fucking grenades. Like 25 years later, and they're like, you know what? The grenades in Half-Life 1 are janky as fuck. Bam, we're fixing that shit. So now you have proper grenades in Half-Life 1. That alone is already like wild.
EFT styled grenades in Half-Life.
But they also added in a bunch of new maps that were made by their developers. So Valve created new maps to be played in Half-Life 1 Deathmatch. And the maps are really fucking good, by the way.
Pendikar Mando, it looks like your super chat didn't go through. I don't see it there.
Yeah.
Anyways, I do believe that's pretty much it for today. Like I said, bit of a short stag today. I've been working on the Starfield review. I've got the thumbnail from the thumbnail guy. It looks good. I like it. I will be streaming tomorrow because I have the week off work. I'll probably do Oblivion tomorrow. People have been asking for the Fallout 4 DLC research streams. I think I'm going to try to get started on that this week. So for the first stream, I'll be doing Automatron, the Creation Club stuff, since I've acquired access to most, if not all, the content on there, and probably Nuka World.
Yeah.
They'll probably be this week sometime. I don't know when. I'm not looking forward to suffering, but I'll do it for you guys, I guess. $100 from Hand of Themis. Thank you. The tithe? What?
The tithe. Okay, they're paying you their tithe.
Oh.
The fuck's a tithe?
Like as if when you go to church and you pay your donation into the church, that's a tithe.
Oh,
or
I didn't know there was a specific word for that.
Like in 40K, there's a tithe for every planet where they need to raise a certain number of guardsman divisions and supply the Imperium as a whole with weapons. So that's their tithe. That's their thing they pay.
Well, thank you. I very much appreciate it, Hand of Themis. Are you going to do settlement DLC stuff? Yeah, I should... I'm going to look into some of it. I don't feel like doing the whole arena creature capture thing. I don't know how to fucking do that. Or like the machines to like generate items. That's... But I do want to look into like the buildable vault thing, because why the fuck would you be building a vault 200 years after the bombs drop?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. There's another message there. Will you actually have Le Ort Showcampsy on Monday? I'll try to do the art showcase tomorrow. I'm sorry for putting it off. But yeah, I'll try to do it for tomorrow. $2 from Harv...
I was going to say the comment Rex says Warhammer Dark Tithe? Yes.
$2 from Harv3034. Thank you. You have the week off? Jealous. Yeah. But anyways, yep, that's it for today. Pagan shill.
Okay, so I just want to say this. I'm not going to be doing any shilling until I have something to shill.
Pagan
and I will
shill.
let you guys know. I will let you guys know
Pagan shill.
when I am going to be doing stuff on my channel.
Chill hard.
Chill.
Check out my content. Give me money. I don't have any new content, but do it anyway.
Chill. Okay. Before you go, Setch. Before you go. Hold on.
Keep it to 30 words or less.
Ah, you talk exactly as I played it, you fuck. Okay, there we go.
I want to know which play.
I played the chills. Wah.
Oh, I didn't hear any. Oh, because it's on stream, right?
Yep,
God, we need to get that as a soundboard.
Yeah, we do.
we do. So, yeah, I'm on Twitch, YouTube, Rumble, and Kick. Feel free to follow me anywhere there. We are still working on the Halo Reach thing, but I'm not gonna make any promises on when that's done.
It'll be done tomorrow? Cool, I can't wait to watch it.
No! You shut your mouth, goat boy. Yeah, no, so I'm on there. So if you need to get rid of some cash quick, feel free to throw it my way, and you'll get it put in for a bounty draw. So there you go. We just finished a bounty recently, which is Castlevania Circle of the Moon. That has now been completed, done, and dusted. We have played a couple new games. Well, one of them is brand new, which is RoboQuest. Actually turned out to be a really good game, and I'm going to be doing more of that this coming week. And we also did Grounded, which is Obsidian Entertainment's survival crafty game, which is actually pretty good, with one exception of it's got spiders everywhere, and I am very much not a fan of spiders. And oh boy, fucking yikes, that definitely makes my skin crawl. So if you want to watch that, we are doing that tomorrow. More Grounded tomorrow. And my god, if you don't like the bugs, well, there's bugs everywhere. And you know what though? I guess Grounded proves the globalists were right. We're gonna eat the bug.
Pagan starting his 4-hour MLP analysis streams eventually.
Oh no.
AKA Setch gets bullied by bugs, the stream. Yeah, basically. You say Rain of Spiders,
Rain
by the way,
of
that actually
spiders.
happens. Rain of Spiders actually does happen. I hate it so much. They're called spiderlings, but Jesus Christ, they can come in big swarms.
Creetosis, I'm planning on streaming. Any advice? Don't fuck up.
No, don't listen to Creep.
You're gonna fuck up. You're gonna fuck up!
Listen to Creep. Again, the best advice is to just do it. Like, you just gotta get started, and then improve from there.
Every so often when you stream, be sure to do a good old Rain of Spiders on your chat. They love it. Anyways, that's it for today. Thank you for coming out. It's very much appreciated. Yeah, we'll see you around.
Yeah.
3.